position. Alright guys, welcome back. I haven't seen you guys or anybody of you guys in the chat in like 2 weeks on stream. This is the Challenger League Season 11 NA Playoffs. We have Okami versus the Burn the Biceps for our first match. I'm your caster Benial, joined by Jesse J Chick.
How's it going?
And no, I'm not a buff white guy.
Dude, I thought you would be, but like, I don't know. I shouldn't assume based on voices. Thatcher got banned out as we're here on border.
You know what's funny? Cookie's not the same thing because I'm a
You
weeb.
sound like a tall white buff dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so
Your
I
voice
am
does
a
not
lover of
match who you
anime
are.
and everything weeb related usually. So I said nice to you to Cookies, and then Cookies was like, "Aren't you a white guy? Why are you a weeb?" And I'm like, "No, I'm Asian." He's like, "What? You're Asian? What?"
Nobody would have thought that you were Asian.
I don't know, guys in the chat. If what did you think I
race
was?
You think Benny was? Let's hear it.
Oh, these bands are pretty normal though. Order.
I mean, Thatcher and Thermite's gonna hurt the attack quite a bit. Usually, you don't see both of them going out on a map like Border. So I feel like this is gonna tilt a little bit towards the defenders.
True.
Probably Bird and Biceps are gonna be looking to rack some early rounds up. Valkyrie's also a bit of a weird one that leaves Echo on the board, that leaves Maestro on the board. So I don't know. This is really starting to tilt for defense in my mind. If Okami can get even like 2-3 rounds, they're probably looking pretty good.
I definitely agree, especially with because you see Nomad banned out a lot of times because Nomad doesn't allow for the defense to get too aggressive, especially with playing Army and Archives. You jump out the windows, you try and deny the rappel on sandwich window. They can't do that anymore because Nomad now is available. Lamon already playing it, so I definitely agree this could be a more defender-sided one. But Nomad's on the board though, so it's kind of like it's a iffy one here and there. I don't totally agree. But we'll see what happens on the first round as we go to Ventilation Workshop rather than Army Archives. So it's a bit of a different here already for Bird Biceps.
This is something we were actually seeing a little bit at the Invitational. Of course, traditionally you'd go to the top floor first on Border, but at Invite I saw a lot of teams like starting off with the Ventilation Workshop, and according to the CCG graphic that was put out after the event, it actually had the highest win rate out of all the bomb sites here on Border. So I can see like the meta shifting a little bit towards this bomb site rather than the top floor. Certainly still a lot of teams that like to start up on that top floor and use it as their primary, but I don't know, Ventilation Workshop is a very good site, and it definitely shouldn't be underestimated by teams.
But it depends how you play it too. I kind of agree. I definitely surprised at Invitation we saw it more often, especially some like LATAM teams playing it differently too as well. We saw like Nip, Liquid, all the LATAM teams play Border very differently. We see from NA and EU. So I'm interested to see if maybe NA teams or EU teams begin to adapt where some of the strategies saw from the EU teams or the NA LATAM teams. Like Nip did very well on Border most of the time. That's surprising. And we already see something different here already. There's a kite on the board. He's kiting those hatches and customs actually. And well, CCTV going into customs. So it looks like there's going to be quite a bit of roam play here from the Bird and the Bison to start us off. Which makes sense though. You need the hole upstairs.
Yeah, I mean, always in defense on Border, the top floor is always going to be king. So they're going to throw 3 of their players up unless Crime Match wants to rotate. It's a rush right into the site. Look at this. Prompted is in the bomb site. He's taking a gunfight and he's going to win it on an avian with a headshot. Z-Flax getting the plant down, but the team are actually striking back. Here comes Benji flanking around, taking down Bravo Dog. Kilo gets another frag. Everything has just gone down in a flash. Looks like the Maestro's going to be the last player left alive there for the defense. It's Lauren trying to make his way down. He's going to have to go for the retake. He's still got some Evil Eyes up. Repositioning those, he's spotting out some players, will drop now, has some pings from his teams, and of course a lot of calls. Doesn't see anybody just yet. There's one, he gets the frag onto Benji. That's gonna be a 2-on-1. Zedflak and Kilo just sitting outside of the building. They're gonna be a really tough nuisance to try to deal with. His go to his post plant, doesn't know where they're at and can't hit the shot. Zedflak with a good crossfire will take it for Okami, round number 1.
Wow. That's all I can say. So that one, as you see Okami read that perfectly, as well, I want to say perfectly, but they read that in a way where, with the amount of roam play they were doing, how extravagant the Bird and Biceps are putting into the roam, for I almost said aviator because I was thinking Villa last time, but for a Ventilation Workshop defense, you can walk right in the site. The room's right there outside the door. So rather than trying to extravagantly deal with this roam game, why just walk in the site, go for the plant, deal with the only person on site, which was, I think it was Mute. I think it was. And so
it was a smoke, yeah.
Yeah, it was a smoke, so I think it was Avian maybe even at that point. Yeah. So at that point, they took control of site and they win the round heavily.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good way to start off your run here in the Challenger League closed qualifiers. It's not like it even was that big of a secret, right? I mean, Kilo showed off that he was going to be playing on Finca. Usually that's going to, you know, signal to your opponents that you're going for a bit of a rush. Maybe they assumed that Kilo would 6-pick off of it. But either way, it seemed like they got caught off guard. This time they did 6-pick over to the Finca. So presumably this is going to be the exact same strategy. It looks like it's going to be a rush again. However, this might be unexpected because if you're taking a look at B&B, you know, fine, you get caught off with a rush once, but it's typically not something that's that a team is going to try twice. But they're going to do it again, and if there's no adaptation coming out from B&B, this could be a very fast 2-0.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared if they're able to do this again and they just get away with it 2 times in a row for Burn Biceps. Because if they get 2 in a row here for Okami just easily like this, it really puts a stand in the confidence of B&B, and they could easily fall apart. I say this now, they're going through passport quickly. Looks like they're walking right through, trying to find their way into Tellers actually, as Prompted looks around, trying to find anybody below. They're going to drone him in through East Stairs as well, and it looks like they may actually roam clear this time, and rather than trying to deal with any of the players on site instead, as this looks like a shot comes out from Zoinkers, who's trying to peek out East Stairs from the side from CCTV. Prompted will see, and he'll actually go to rotate at this point. So this part looks like they're gonna rotate, try to roam clear Bravo Dog, Blonde, and Zoinkers upstairs.
I feel like it kind of would have been the play just to go for that again. There weren't really too many players ready for it over on B&B. They might have got caught off guard twice in a row, and we would have seen a very fast first 2 rounds. But alas, that's not what's going to be played by Okami. They will go for the standard roam clear, despite the fact that they have a lot of these aggressive operators. I guess with both Thermite and Thatcher banned off of the board, you kind of have to play a lot more of those aggressive ops, but still. Here's an aggressive peek coming up from Bravo Dog, and it works perfectly. He takes the head off of Prompted, giving his team an early player advantage, and that's the nice type of aggression that you'd really like to see, especially coming up from like a Mozzie dispensable operator. You can kind of just throw them up on that top floor, and when the attackers aren't really being too careful, as they weren't over on the side of Okami, you can get some really harsh punishes in there. I quite like that coming out from Bravo Dog, again, early on.
Yeah, early on it makes sense to get that aggression. He actually jumps down back to site, and it's the kind of aggression you need from the play defender sometimes, so not allow them to take top floor too easily. So already losing their buck, one of the soft breaches on the board here for Okami. It's kind of a, not really a huge blow, but definitely is helpful for the defending side, as now top floor has been taken over. Blarn was the last one up there. He's going to drop back on the site, and actually, oh, there's a header he sees. Benji takes the head off of Blarn, and he sees barely it through the hole that was made by the defenders, unfortunately. And so now they go to work and try to find any other anchors through these floorboards, trying to find any other picks they can make to give them the advantage. As 50 seconds left to go, they spend quite a bit of time, and Lemon will get another though onto Zoinkers on East Stairs. Kilo on the card magic, and it's coming down to a 4v2. Only up to Bravo Dog and Avian to try and hold this out. Avian's the only one on site. Bravo Dog going through customs, maybe go for a flank, but there's actually a punch hole in CCT or in Tellers.
Dog does get spotted out here in customs. Still going for some more pressure. He's being very aloof off of this bomb site. Avian on the smoke is the one to try to hold it down. Hasn't been a whole lot of late game pressure coming in from Okami, but they're now focusing on singling out Bravo Dog and be able to dispatch of him before they focus on Avian. Bravo Dog finds his first victim. Zed Flak going for this plant, though. Bravo Dog needs to get back in unless Avian can handle it by himself. Running on into vents through the wall. Avian's trying to take an engagement. He's got pings, but a lot of info. There's the shotgun with help. He's able to get that kill. A 2-on-1 now as his teammate has gone down. Zed Flak going for this plant, and Kilo will be watching. Avian sees that time tick 0. He should know there's 2 still up with the shotgun. Can't quite do it. Okami take 2 rounds in a row.
Oh, that was almost a clutch there, but a very good kind of late game entry to get these kills here for Okami. Walking down the East Stairs, taking out many of the defenders, playing on those courtyard, playing those downstairs off the roam, and so it ends up just being Avian and Bravo Dog in a 2v4. Almost close there. You had Bravo Dog get 1 kill, and you had Avian get 1 of his own, but still not enough to put them in the lead. And we go 2-0 as I said before, 2 rounds in a row quickly here for the side of Okami. As you see the scoreboard, it's pretty well done for Benji, Kilo, and Flak. They've been doing very well already on attack. Kind of scared.
Jump on that Finca again. I would be scared too. If you're B&B, you really got to shake those off. I mean, mentally, that's draining. You expect the 6-pick from Kilo this time around. First of all, it's probably not going to be Ventilation Workshop again, and they are correct in predicting that it's not. And second of all, like, okay, fool me once, fine. Fool me twice, okay, but 3 times? You don't go for something like that 3 times in a row, and thankfully he will swap off over to the Zofia. Tease it for sure, but eventually deciding not to play that Finca the 3rd round. I think that's probably the right choice. Still a very aggressive lineup, and you take a look at like the guns being brought out by Okami, and like all 5 of those ops can really frag out. Even the Haban, I mean, yeah, sure, hard destructor, but you can still do a lot of work, and I think we're seeing that translate in the rounds that we've seen so far, right? A lot of these like roam engagements have been favoring Okami. Sure, last round maybe the opening pick went in favor of BNB, but that was only because Blarn was able, or Bravo Dog, sorry, was able to catch somebody off guard, and really that wasn't a fair fight. He was just a smart position got him that kill. So every time that we've seemingly seen the attackers and the defenders go up against each other in an equal engagement, the gun skills have been better on Okami, and because of that, they've been able to get really early man advantages, which has been nice for them.
I definitely agree. It always seems like Okami too are kind of walking together, roaming together as a team. They are taking a lot of these engagements together as a team a lot of times, and they're winning out these team engagements because a lot of times they're catching defenders off guard who aren't together really. They're always like 1 or 2s together, and they're being 3 or 4s attacking this one person or 2 players. So really good work on Okami's side to be working together so very well, and I definitely agree. They've been losing a lot of these fights to these attackers straight up every single time. Unless it's different, unless, like you said before, Bravo Dog catches them off guard, but otherwise, these one-on-one straight up engagements, and they started pricking it up. I know it's going to be difficult with the ACOGs and the rifles on the side of the attack, but they have to get some of these wins if they're going to, some of these 1v1s in their favor if they're going to actually take some of these rounds off the board. It's interesting too, because you said you think this be more defender-sided, but so far not so much.
It's been a pretty heavy commitment from BNB into the offices. So we'll see if they actually get challenged. It looks like most of the attack right now is coming from the west side. They're mostly going to be focusing on this armory like lockers wall. So if they can break this open, they don't have to worry too much about Cry Magic, about Zoinkers, about Bravo Dogs. We're all in that like open area. It can be quite nice. They don't have to worry about any of that. Of course, though, this Electric Claw is going to be a really big problem for them. They don't really have anything to deal with it. It could go down below, but I believe it's in a position where it can't really be dealt with due to the fact that it's up above that bookshelf. You saw that get played in Invite. They managed to get a hole, at least with the soft destruction opened up though, so maybe they don't need it too much. They've got an entryway, but for sure that's going to be watched by Avian as he's continuing to sit inside of the A-bomb site, and for sure you're going to see some people start to rotate over. Blarn probably can stay watching the flank, maybe Bravo Dog as well, but Cry Magic and Zoinker are in really good positions to continue and maybe try to put some pressure on this, or even flank from behind if that's what they want to do.
Yeah, at this point, it seems like there's not a lot. There's still 5v5 with a minute left on the board. Like, nobody's got any kills. A lot of this now, this west control of armory, is been left over. Unless, of course, there is still, I think there is a evil eye in the back there. Gonna be able to share by grenade by prompted. But either way, there's not a lot of pressure here. They still have probably a C4 from below to deny the plant. I don't know if Bravo Dog and Blind both have C4s, but it's another way you can deny this plant, because otherwise, they're gonna be able to get this plant off. As I say that, nope, Benji walks in, gets blasted by Cry Magic. Looks like he was playing over on the right by the soft wall. Over by Archives, actually. It's a long shot into small office to get rid of Benji. And so at this point, looks like they're trying to go for these long angles to deny the plant. It's still 25 seconds left to go. Kilo, he's going to concuss Sandwich as Lamon gets a shot on to Blarn through that same soft wall and finish him off. He looks like going for the plant. Actually, they're going to push right through. Z-Flak watches right into the Avian's view, and another one for Avian. He takes Lamon and Z-Flak, and the Fuser is now down. He pushes too far on to Sandwich, but loses it to Kilo. And now it's down to Bravo Dog, and a flank. It's up prompted. It's up to Kilo. He loses it to Bravo Zoinkers as well, and that's the Burn Biceps take 3rd round in a row.
I feel like the root of the problems for that round for Okami came from the fact that they did just waste a lot of time not really doing a whole lot. I mean, you've got like 4 guys grouped outside. I think it was 3 guys grouped outside of the lockers wall. Then you've got like a couple guys like going for flanks on windows and stuff, just sort of watching those windows, but not really getting aggressive on the people instead of offices or the people in the sandwich or archives or wherever the roamers were at, if you can call them roamers. And so when it came time to make the execute happen, I mean, they had a lot open. They did have their angles secured, but they kind of had no choice but just to run on into a Maestro. And I know the Alta doesn't have an ACOG anymore, but it's still a really powerful gun, and it can still mow down players that are forced to just peek into it. 2 guys got mowed down around the 15-10 second mark. That's just not something you can really deal with unless you have more time. Take it slowly. Go for your grenades. Go for whatever you can to dispatch this player, because really just running in and dying to Blarn on the Maestro was, or I think it was Avian on the Maestro, was the biggest problem in that round. I would have liked to see maybe some of that first minute and a half used to clear out offices. Obviously, it was a tough challenge with a mute and a Mozzie, a Vigil and a Mozzie in that area, so it was really tough to clear, but maybe some sort of attempt could have been done. Even just taking down like Cry Magic, just playing inside of 90, would have been a huge help. If you could just get one more extra pick, that's one more angle that you can look from. Would have been able to help them out, and they wouldn't have all had to run on into an Alda.
Yeah, definitely agree. This was something the other utility made to deny Avian that spot. And again, it seems like too they didn't have an Evo plan. I also said before 3 in a row. I mean, their first round of defense actually make it 2-1. They ran round 3. My bad. But either way, it's just kind of like they took control of West Armory, but they didn't really do anything with it. They tried to take fights rather than maybe go for a plant in the back of walkers. Again, they would have to cross Avian though. Maybe if they brought a Capital, use smoke balls, try and deny the side of line and try crossover, could be different. Anyway, it's still a really good round to the BNB to win their first defense. And as we go back to Vincent Workshop, so far this site has been not very good for them though. They've lost 2 times on this site, one to a rush and one to just some really good gunfights on a late game, on like a mid to late game.
And again, I mean, you're taking a look at this attacker lineup. Look at Kilo, he's on that Finca. The rush is an option, but it's not getting utilized again by Okami. So they're clearly finding some value in this operator, even when they're not in the bomb site in the first 30 seconds. And that's nice to see. It's a little bit different change of pace from what you usually see coming out from a Finca. In terms of the defense, they're still in a very heavy commitment to these offices, right? They've still got a lot of that drone denial, which worked quite well for them in the last round. So I do like that they're trying to bring this back. Hopefully you can stall out for these roamers, because again, you were winning your earlier engagements by not really being noticed the second round where you played in this map. So if you can catch your guys off guard, right, go for some flanks, just stay elusive, that's probably where you're going to win your gunfights. Because even ignoring player skill, I mean, look at the operators on the other side of the board. You're probably not winning those one-on-one engagements. So sure, be aloof, slow them down, and then don't let them get to that first floor, because if they rush, that's really where you've struggled too.
Yeah, we see Blood here by himself. There's less of a roam presence here from the BNB. You only have 2 players up here, Bravo Dog and Blarn. They had 3 last time, so they're being more wary, trying to keep their players alive, because what happened last time, they keep losing players out in the end anyway. So this time, Blarn's gonna back off, Bravo Dog playing an office, and they're kind of trying to, again, like you said, be aloof, try to waste time or anything. Don't go for those gunfights, because again, like you said before, it's like those rifles on the side of the attack are really powerful, very difficult to deal with. Even though, you know, the Alda is one of the strong weapons on defense, it's still hard to deal with an R4C. Not exactly what you want to deal with when you're just kind of going head for head 1v1s. And so with 50 seconds left to go on the board, it's what they've done. The Roamers actually have done their job. They've wasted a lot of time. But again, even last time they had the same flight, or the same round, it was the last game, last minute kills that really took them the round for Okami.
You still got some defenders up on this top floor. They have some opportunity to rotate down. Zoinkers currently holds that stairway, so you've got defensive control of that area if you want to make your rotates happen. The smoke canisters have been utilized. Of course, with this time ticking down, you really don't have many more options to use them later. They've now pushed into supply, which is not where the bomb site is. So they're going to have to push a little bit farther. 20 seconds in the first engagement goes the favor of Kilo. Using that adrenaline surge, he's able to win the gunfight. Looks for a second, and his teammate's going to be able to find it. Cry Magic answers back up to C4. The plant can go down, but it's a 3-on-3. His teammates are starting to fall. There's Avian with his second. Kilo answers back with a kill on a Cry Magic. 5 seconds left in this round, and Kilo's alone in a 1-on-2. He's looking for these last couple of players. He finds the first with the triple. Can he get the quad, though? No, not quite. BNB outside are going to be able to protect this bomb site for just long enough and equalize that round count.
Yeah, 2-2 now. Great way for Bird and the Biceps to bring it back. And like I said before, aloof, on their feet. They waste time more than anything that round. That's the point right there. They waste time causing for Okami have to go for kind of a rush strat. They had to rush in the last 50 seconds. That's 45 seconds of the round. And you had Avian there. You had Cry Magic. You had players ready for that push into B. They take the kills. They stop the plant more than anything. That's the big thing. They stopped the plant from going off. And even though you had, you know, prompted Lamon push through from supply, get rid of some of these roamers like the Kaid and the Mute, it wasn't enough. They couldn't get the plant down in time. They couldn't get the kills, and just really good work to deny that push from Okami. We now go to customs and supply. We'll see exactly if Okami can take this side. It's been 2 rounds in a row for him. 2 rounds in a row first to start, 2 rounds in a row for B&B.
This is a bit of a scary first showing from both these teams. I think there's been a fair amount of mistakes made by both Okami and Bird and Biceps. I think Okami in these last couple of rounds have been really just way too passive, way too slow. It seems like almost like a lack of direction a lot of these times. They kind of just have everybody stacking up and not really in good positions. And Bird and Biceps as well have been, I don't know, just a little bit like questionable in their reactions to what they're seeing. Those rush strategies and then winning their gunfights. Neither of these teams seem to be playing in a fashion where they could make it through these 2 rounds and make it into the Challenger League season number 11, which is, of course, the ultimate goal. And I don't know, of course, the winner of this has to face the winner of Joey Sports versus Slaughterhouse, and the winner of that makes it to CL. Right now, it don't seem like either of these teams could beat Joey Sports, but they've got a long time still to heat it up, so I'm not too worried, but it's something to remember.
Yeah, about 2/3. We'll see what happens. We need to see how the team goes out. But Joey Sports are very strong. They've gotten like third. They've gotten like third place overall in the standings for open qualifiers. So they're definitely a team to be reckoned with. They're much more a younger stack of gunners who've been really getting their kills, working well. And we'll see exactly who plays up next though, because we're still very early in this matchup though. It's best of 3, 2-2, still in the half though. So it's really interesting to see who gets out in the winner in this half even, first place. So. As we say this, we're going to be doing, again, this is going to be a customs and supply defense. We have people upstairs, of course. Bravo Dog upstairs. Looks like there was some charges put on the wall. Kyle's put, but they're shot out. Z-Flag shoots it all the way towards that wall into CCTV, but they're shot out, and Prompted just walks into Bravo Dog. But this is a refrag from Benji as they take control of CCTV.
So this top floor engagement going down now. The defenders losing 2 is not really what they were looking to do. They get 1 for their troubles, but that's really not a good enough trade, especially when you're losing that Echo. You no longer got control of those Yokais. That's a really big loss. You've still got a couple key players alive, right? Avian is going to be on this board still. He's kind of the master of playing passive and winning by this clock, but you really don't like losing that Echo early on. And on top of that, you've conceded this top floor. The attackers are up here. You expected to lose this top floor eventually, but it was relatively quickly, and you lost 2 bodies to do so. I really don't like the position that BNB have put themselves in. If we now see Okami go ahead and take this, 5th round to make it a 3-2 split, again, given the bans, given the position where they've been, just given the play that we've seen from both these squads so far, I would be really worried if I was Bird and Biceps that maybe this is one of their off days.
I would hope so. Maybe they're just playing with it. It is Okami's map pick though, so of course they're gonna have the advantage. But this is still an issue where if they can't put up a fight, they lose a lot of momentum. They maybe lose that confidence into the next round or next map, as it is their next map pick. If you guys didn't know, this map pick is Okami's a border. Next one is going to be, I almost forgot actually. He told me a little while ago too. Bank. Which is B&B's pick. So hopefully they don't lose too much confidence if they lose this out straight out pretty easily. As I say that, still waiting for the plant to go down. Z-Flag goes down and pushing into sight though. He's getting picked up by that Finka charge. Those nanobites are going to pick him back up. Layman gets a kill on a Crime Magic. It's all falling apart. Zoinkers and Avian now have to retake sight, but there's a lot of vertical coverage here as that's successfully panted. There goes the Fuse to go down. It's a close situation. Kilo gets a kill on the Avian. Now it's down to just Zoinkers try and take it back, but no. Kilo gets another kill on the Zoinkers, and Okami will take the 5th round, and it's 3-2 in the favor of Okami.
So Avian is kind of like nowhere to be seen when this plant is going down. I get it's hard to hold inside of like jail, and it's hard to hold inside of supply when the attackers have that top floor. But he's still not in a great position to be able to deny that plant. And then also, I mean, Zoinker is kind of just off in Narnia. It seems like this whole game he's been really favoring the Vigil, which is fine. But I don't know, kind of just out there. I would have liked to see maybe a re-aggression onto that top floor, or just like at least some more pressure to where towards where that plant was actually going down. So, I mean, it's tough when you lose that many players early on. Obviously, I think the big problem, the start of their issues, if nothing else, started when they lost that top floor and lost so many bodies with it. But then there was nothing really to dig them out of that pit, and all kind of spiraled down from there. So a good 3rd round to be won by Okami, and they're looking quite nice as they now walk into the last round of this half.
Yeah, I wonder maybe if BNB maybe get more aggressive and try to take more kills upstairs. I'm not sure if Zoinkers may have done that himself, but it's kind of hard to know what to do at that point. When you're down 2 members already in a 3-5 and they take control upstairs and they have all that vertical play. So, hard on you. We'll see 3-2. This is the last round of the half. I know you were saying you think it's going to be more defender-sided, but it might be attacker-sided. It might be a 4-2 at the half.
I don't think that's attacker-sided. I think that's Okami-sided. I think they come here. I mean, aside from those middle 2 rounds where they just played slow, they didn't really seem to know what to do against BNB. They've looked good otherwise, right? Yeah, and maybe we're pointing out a lot of the mistakes coming out from Bird and Biceps, but I think it has been some skill shown by Okami to capitalize off of those, especially after that last round was pretty impressive by him. So, okay, fair enough. You come back into this round, you're holding back up on top floor again. So Armory Office Archives is where you're at. Again, it's going to be a heavy commitment to these offices, and you've got a lot of that drone denial. You'd ideally like to be able to keep that in there to keep stalling out the attackers. Last time there was really no pressure from Okami to get in here. So if you can stick around for a long time, deny that area for the entire round, if possible, and then also be able to deny that wall as they did for round number 3 as well, then you're probably looking pretty good. On the other side, though, I mean, Okami got to be able to get in faster, do something with this first minute and a half. The fact they're already a minute in, we're not seeing a whole lot yet. I mean, if something doesn't happen soon, I would be a little worried this is just a repeat of round number 3.
Yeah, it's interesting too because you've seen, if you've watched it kind of before, they're very usually a very efficient and very quick team, but there's definitely seen they have issues pushing B&B a lot of times. Z-Flag was just, he was going to work on the wall, but won't be going to work anymore as Crime Magic will blow up from below. That's already a member off team, also prompted very low HP 2 as the Bucks, so it's already looking pretty painful here as no Benji gets a kill from Break Room onto Crime Magic up middle stairs, so it's back and forth. Refuses picked up by Lemon. With a minute and 20 left, they still have time, but they gotta try and get into sight. Avian, of course, on the same angle, watching people pushing up the West Armory wall, still waiting for get those 2 kills like he did last time in round 3.
The opening from Cry Magic now equalizes as he has also fallen. Prompted has very little HP, but this wall's been opened up, so he's done his job. He's now looking in to try to challenge Avian. And again, Avian was a big problem last time that they attacked this bomb site. Gonna have to deal with him once more. Kilo's in a good position to try to deal with him. Lemon's in a good spot. He's actually just gonna start this plant immediately with Z-Flag going down. He's gonna have to pick up this duty. Kilo can just keep on firing, deny the Maestro to be able to make the rotate. And because of it, Benji gets this triple kill, and all of a sudden this plant's down. There's nothing you can really do about it. Benji does fall, but it's only a 3-on-1, and Bravo Dog all alone in this engagement. The post plant looks almost unwinnable for him. You got a lot of strong defense or attackers on the other side of that scoreline as well. It's gonna be really tough to pull this one back. He is inside of security, which is not a terrible spot to be in, but he's being pushed and he doesn't know it. Okami take round number 6, a 4-2 split for the attack with these bans. That's really, really good.
Yeah, that is so good on Okami to take that many rounds on their half. I guess maybe, like you said, not attack side, but Okami side in a sense. And so I'm very interested to see how B&B now does their attack. We said this maybe a more defense sided game. Maybe now B&B will prove us wrong and say it's going to be attacker sided. Hard to say, but that round just, I said before too, like being able to plant was a big thing why they didn't win that round before. They able to get the plant down, make a post-win situation, name the attackers or the defenders, and now come back and try and retake that side of armory, which is very difficult to do. Maybe if he had saved that C4, or saved that C4 and not kill Z-Flag, he could have used it on the planter instead and deny the plants. But I don't know what information they really had to see that plant going down.
During the map ban phase, it was just down in the comments of the match page as usual. Okami got to pick first. They picked Border, and Bird and Biceps made the comments that they wanted to pick Border. And so they were sad they had to pick a different map. Don't know if I really believe them after this. I mean, you can never really trust what one team says to their opponents. Always there's going to be mind games going on there. Always there's going to be, just jokes and shenanigans. But the fact that B&B claimed that they were good at Border and claimed that they wanted to play this Border, and they're really not showing up against Okami's strats, means that either Okami are way better prepared than Bird and Biceps are, or they just really don't have a great strategy on this map to go up against what Okami are bringing. So hopefully Bank's a little bit better for them. I mean, you can take a look at the map pool and say, you know what, we're playing Border and then Bank, B, and then B. That's got to favor Bird and the Biceps. You could also look at just how this map's going so far and say, let's gotta favor Okami, and I think both their arguments, maybe not equally valid, but I think it's working. This first half, I mean, obviously there's many more rounds to be played, but Okami looking really, really good, and Bird and Biceps just don't seem that strong on this map.
Yeah, not so far. The defense is really falling short pretty heavily to Okami. Okami also been really fixing up their mistakes and what issues they had and being able to deal with Bird and Biceps every single time. Not every single time, most of the time. 4 out of 2 or 4 out of 6. So I'm interested to see exactly what happens here as we go into the first defense or first attack of B&B and the first defense of Okami. And of course you have the upstairs covered. Of course Benji is all alone up there actually. There's no other defender helping him. He's only on his own here as the vigil to deny any kind of drone from seeing him.
A lot of drone denial again coming out from the defenders. This time it's Okami, of course, playing defense, but the strategy is similar. You want to be able to spread yourself across the top floor, and you want to be able to slow down the attackers because they can't drone you. So what are they going to do? They're going to have to just clear this utility. They're going to have to then go for their drones. They're going to have to face check some angles. That's what you want. You want them to take risks they don't have to, and you want them to be very slow whilst doing it. There's a great pick from Lemon to take down Zoinkers, so that's even a little bit of utility taken off the board for the attackers. If they ever managed to get some of those defender cameras, that might have helped them out. But no, with the Dokkaebi off of the board, you're not able to do that any longer. So I mean, this attack and this clear of the top floor is going to have to go even slower for you now. Really worrying still.
Yeah, it's still really weird to see that off the board. It looks like they try to C4 him as well. They try to C4 Avian from below at the connectivity are prompted. C4 won't go off and won't get anybody. It'll be wasted. But there's still another player, Benji, inside CCTV. Avian's trying to track him down, but there's no drones left. There's nothing. It doesn't look like ABC's gonna face check everything, it seems like. Some shots come through from somewhere and trying to scares off Avian. And now we're just waiting. Blind pushes through. Looks like he's gonna find the kill. And Benji inside CCTV is walking into break room. That's going to even up the score, even up the man count. But Kilo getting aggressive, tries to find Blind. He'll take some shots, but not finish him off.
Lurking down low is Kilo. He knows that there's attackers that are taking control of the top floor. The retake could be a valid strat, but now he's a little bit more worried about who's ripping the floorboards up just to his left. Right as he looks away, somebody does walk past that hole, and he's got so many sound cues that he's going to try to deal with. Of course, with the buck up above, there's a lot to be afraid of, and that's currently what he's focused on. His teammate gone down. It is, of course, a 4-on-4, and there's no real pressure in the defense up on this top floor. But with 30 seconds, it might not matter too much. You've still got some of these hashes reinforced, which is quite good for you. Lauren watching this staircase to make sure there's no rotate, but you're the one who's really got to get aggressive, and the defense are actually being so aggressive. They want to shoot back up towards you. That's not a great spot to be in if you're attacking here. So Bird and Biceps, they got to start going. There's a trade for a trade. Kilo and Cry Magic get a kill apiece. Kilo almost gets the second one. Looks like he will down him and finish him off the pistol. Can finish off the plant too with the knife. Kilo going huge in this round. Now it's going to be Avian all alone in a 1-on-2, but he doesn't have time. Okami take round number 7 and continue their win streak. They're going to be up 5-2 now.
Yeah, at this point, really showing them. It just Bird the Biceps aren't ready for a border map here with Okami as they win their first defense. Something different from the side of B&B as their first defense did not go right and they lost it to Okami. See, now we go upstairs, do something more preferred site, Armory and Archives, and they could be putting us on match point. Really depending on how they play this out. Again, we saw very well. They did lose at one time to Okami. Oh no, Okami lost at one time in their attack due to Avian holding the ground so very well and they're not able to plant on that West Army side. But if B&B can do the same thing, you know, make sure to push all of the attack or defenders outside of West Armory, push and being able to plant in that area like we saw from Okami their last round, could be able to get this round and get a win on the board, maybe catch up, because they need to play catch up here, and it is Okami's not picked though, so hard to say.
You know, Bird and Biceps came into this match with a slightly higher seed. They're 6th seed compared to Okami's 11th seed. So there's definitely a reason to have maybe favored them coming into this matchup. But one thing you got to keep in mind is I think these closed qualifiers test a bit of a different skill set than what the open qualifiers test. Of course, it's largely the same. The good teams are still going to do well if they did good in open quals as closed qualifiers. But something that's really not tested as much in the open qualifiers is how much you're able to prepare for your opponents and how much the prep time can really benefit you and your squad. And it seems like this has been a real strength from Okami. Their coach, Hunter Cash, casting skills aside, is a pretty good coach when it comes to these tier 2 teams. He's done quite a lot of prep work. I was talking to him in Montreal, and you can really tell he's put in the work for this matchup. They're playing a lot of strategies that simply Bird and Biceps just don't seem as prepared for. Prompted running out like this, that's got to be something they prepped. I'm sure Hunter Cash thought that up at some point. But no, I mean, it seems like just Bird and Biceps aren't as proficient in that preparation game. Maybe we'll see that swap up on Bank, but I do want to give a little bit of credit to Hunter Cash because it seems like this team is really coming into this matchup prepared.
I'd say at this point, it seems like Okami know exactly what they're doing to deal with Bird and Biceps every step of the way. It's not over just yet, but for so far, though, on their attack, Okami knew what to do every single time. They had a couple mistakes, some missteps, but otherwise, it was pretty much it's been their game so far. As you see, this is gonna be an office push here from the Bird and the Biceps. Avian jumps through, maybe to open up that wall into Archive or into office, but no, it's gonna be Tellers instead. He opens the wall on the Tellers. Lloydmon's gonna be the one pushing through there, watching the push into office. And Prime matches up there with him. Blind pushes through next, and it'd be interesting to see them push this. Lloydman takes a lot of damage actually too. It looks like he gets shot from the window. Maybe he actually goes down. It's a shot from Bravo Dog holding. From below, actually? Where was that at? I don't know where he got shot from even. Oh, upstairs repel from break room. What? Oh, yeah, that's a long angle. He opens up from break room, gets a long shot on Suleiman. That's the first good kill. A deal with the Mozzie in office. Benji's in fountain at least, but that allows them to push in office if they need to.
Yeah, really great shot, Bravo Dog, to open things up here for the guys in orange. Of course, need a little bit of a momentum shift. You've also got Avian, who was down below. He was then up top, and now it looks like he's dropping down below as well. Maybe there's some vertical play that wants to be played out there, whether that's to deal with bandit batteries or whether that was just to try to deal some damage on his players inside of the open offices. hard to say. He didn't really stay down there for too long, but now the push from the attackers has moved more so into security. This gives them a good base to actually attack into the bomb site, but it took them a lot more time, and part of that was because they were getting pressure downstairs. But if they don't do anything with it, that's going to be the same story as what we were talking about with Okami, but they kind of have just wasted the first few minutes of this round. They walk on in now, and Blarn is sure on top of things. Prompted falls another for Blarn. It's double kill. He finds Kilo as well. Man, this 552 Commando has been on fire these last couple seconds, and Blarn really running away with it.
Yeah, Blarn at this point is taking 2. He's now it's in their favor. It's 2-5 in the favor of Bird Biceps. They have the advantage man-wise, but the time is running out with 30 seconds left to go. They have to be wary of these flags too. Here's one coming through office, and he doesn't get the kill. Bravo Dog loses it to Benji, or Benji loses to Bravo Dog. And now it's down to just Z Flag. He gets one, but will be reflagged immediately by Avian. And Bird's Ice will take one more round. They're now, what, 2 rounds from catching up now?
Yeah, that is going to make it a 5-3. So that's a difference of 2. So a couple more in a row, and they could certainly pull this one back. I don't know if that's really a replicable situation. A lot of that for me just felt like Blarn was kind of popping off, and he's got the elite IQ. Clearly, this is a gun he's familiar with, and really showing off his skills that round. I still felt like it was a bit of a waste of time that first minute and a half. Not super detrimental to your team if you can do something afterwards, right? If you've managed to get positions, get utility with it. It's hard for us to see as spectators, but if that's what they were doing earlier on in the round, that led Blarn to really get a couple of those kills, then sure, absolutely. But it still felt like that defense was kind of just cracked apart by Blarn hitting some shots that he probably shouldn't have. Okami may be feeling the same way as they're going to go back to the same bomb site, but I would be a little bit worried. I mean, maybe Blarn's heating up. Maybe this is like your comeback, and this is what you're going to ride all the way to Challenger League, but probably not something you can rely on to keep chaining these rounds together in my mind.
Yeah, definitely agree. It was kind of a bit of a not singular, but just like some really good kills that gave them the advantage. I'm not sure if they can keep it up though, because those, again, we talk about picks are very important. So the fact that they got 2 picks early on, well, 3 picks early on, but in a row like that was really good for BNB. And so I'm accepted. I don't think they can keep doing that consistently like that, expecting them to win, but we'll see as we try this again here. And we'll go back upstairs. Probably playing the... So there's no Bandit. They're not going to try and ban trick. Probably playing a dog this time instead. He's actually going for a run out once more like he did before as Bandit, but now as a 3 armor instead of a 3 speed. So it's very different role here for Prompted. He's going to be holding CCTV, which last time they didn't really care about.
Yeah, it seems like this hold has been changed up quite a bit. Holding on to security for a little bit longer would certainly help them out, because that was really where the push came from. So it's not just banking on Blarn not hitting as many shots. You are going to be changing things up. You're adapting a little bit as Okami, so that's some good IGLing being showcased by them. They've got more strategies. That's really important to be able to have. It is a lot, though. I mean, 2 players in security is kind of overstepping. Benji should have a rotation into 90, and it looks like he does. I'm not sure if that's large enough to... Yeah, that's definitely large enough to jump through. So he can move over into there. He can jump in a fountain if he needs to. If Lemon gets a lot of pressure on him, hopefully he'll rotate over. Right now, it seems like Lemon is sort of alone. Those electric claws being placed on the wall, it can slow down the attackers for a bit. You can tell this Buck is downstairs, and he's really trying to deal with those.
Now he's trying to get some pressure on the player in office once more. They're pinging him out, and Bravo Dog still has the same overhead repel, trying to get a angle onto Lemon in office, but they've reinforced that wall that he's sitting behind, so unless he gets killed from below by Avian, there's not much he can do. A grenade comes through. Lemon takes a bit of damage, but not enough. He's being hit from below, with a concussion as well, and a flash. And Kilo's on a roam downstairs. So it's a very different play here. There's actually nobody on site. There's 0 people on site here for the side of Okami, but it doesn't matter as Kilo gets killed in Avian. Now we're down to a 4v5 with a minute and a half to go.
Dude, who just drops like that? Kilo literally dropped through the hatch to be able to kill somebody on that first floor. It was the Buck who's trying to deal with those electric claws and like cause some pressure from down below. And your Maestro just drops off a site and hits him with the Alda. That's kind of insane. But credit to Kilo. That's not game sense that most people are going to be able to have. He's going to really tilt this round in favor of his squad. Take a look at this. Lemon's wall in offices is still electrified. With no Buck down below, it's almost impossible to deal with this. Perhaps you send Blarn down below. You've only got a minute to go. He's jumping off. No, rotating around. They're sending Cry Magic beneath. So perhaps he'll be the one to look for this. But no, it's a total rotation for both Blarn and Cry Magic. The strategy is changing, knowing that they can't deal with these electric claws. It's going to be really, really tight with this time. They can make it back to the bomb site fast enough and maybe throw off the defenders, and this could work, but it's going to be a risky strat.
Yeah, with only 30 seconds left to go, there's a totally change. A Kilo again getting aggressive. He runs past Sandwich, take control of half wall so they can at least deny some of this push from, aside from B&B, as they're trying to rotate, change up their strat to know where exactly Bird Bites is coming from. It looks like Bravo Dog is using below. He's gonna down and finish off Kilo, and Blarn's gonna jump right in. Actually, no, Cryback jumps in first, going for the plant, being covered by Blarn. Somebody's gonna try and deny this. Nobody's here, going for it. A C4 flies out again. Both C4s. Oh, the second. Actually, no, it's gonna be a push from Blarn. Boinky's gonna as well. Prompted kills Zoinks though, but the postal situation, 3v2 postal situation, is now prompted in Z-Flag. Gotta get aggressive here. He jumps out. No one's on it. No one's on ventilation with him. No, it doesn't matter. Blarn gets a headshot. He's gonna shoot down and finish up prompted 2, and Blarn gets a 3 or 4K for that round, and he really pulls it out to keep them going.
Blarn really worried me in that because he missed the shot onto the Maestro as they were running on pass, and that seemed like, oh man, you know, this rotate didn't work. You've messed up your one chance. But then the rotate was still a little bit slow from Okami. Bravo Dog really pulled it back by being able to play down below, expect where the rotate was coming from on Kilo's end, and catch him out from beneath, down him, and then finish him off. That was really huge kill because now the site is all open. You can send your planter in. They get that plant down because, again, the rotation from Okami wasn't made fast enough. And then you've got the plant down, and then again, some really phenomenal play from Blarn in the post plant, taking down both players. Don't know what that disable was coming out from the last player alive on Okami. Felt like that really wasn't the time. However, I guess you were just betting on your teammate being able to take down the IQ on the window. But either way, I mean, really excellent post plant from Okami and good recovery from Bravo Dog. If he doesn't get that kill on a Kilo, it's probably a lost rotate.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It was such such a crazy rotate to get that off, though. It was a 3v5, and they somehow get that rotate off. They're able to get in a sandwich, able to get the plant down. So crazy from Beard and Biceps to make that work. So now we go into a different site. It seems like at this point, Okami are like, hey, we're not working this out. We can't do upstairs. Let's go to Ventilation Works that we've won this site before. Let's get this match point and go for this win. We're starting to really fall apart here a little bit. So we'll see how they can hold this off. Of course, it is kind of the same thing though, because they're still gonna hold this anyway, but not nearly as many people need to be up there.
It's only Zed Flak for the I know his name is Z Flak, but I'm Canadian, so I'm gonna call him Zed Flak. It's only Zed Flak on the drone denial, which I think has been a really powerful tool for the defenders on both sides in this matchup. You know, just given the meta we're in right now, Mute, Mozzie, Vigil, I mean, these are really powerful operators. Only bringing one of the trio is a little bit questionable for me, especially since they played more than one in this matchup before on Okami, so they're clearly comfortable with it. But they can bring some more tools, fair enough. If Prompted really feels like he needs that ACOG to be effective, then I suppose this is not something that's inherently a lost strategy, but it is something I'm worried about. You've got the castle from Lamon, so hopefully this can deny a little bit more of that utility from the attackers. Really, all this is about is denying utility. If they have to waste more utilities dealing with mute jammers, they have to waste more utility dealing with, you know, pests or castle barricades or whatever the defense are bringing to slow you down a little bit, it can be all right. But I'm going to be worried about, you know, maybe how fast Bird and Biceps can take control of this top floor, because you're not expecting to hold this forever. It's definitely a strategy where they're looking to fall back. The question for me is how much is Zed Flak going to be able to deny with only one of those hard destruction or one of those drone denial operators in play.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what they bring them for, because yeah, with only the board, like you said, like there's not a lot they really can deny. So it's interesting to see why they bring the mute, maybe rather than a smoke, or maybe a Mozzie instead. So we'll see exactly how it goes. He does have a C4 at least though, but it looks like Z-Flex going to play the small off with the shotgun. We'll see exactly how they take this top floor, because the big thing first, we got to see Bird and Biceps clear this top floor. What they can deny here, as Kilo's going to be on the Maestro's time again, and you saw last time he plays very crazy with this Maestro. Sometimes a lot more mobile when you compare it to a lot of other Maestros you see, because he has a 3 armor. So it's interesting to see. It's actually no ACOG anymore either. I'm interested to see what exactly he does here and how exactly they take this, because there's a minute left. Biceps have nothing when it comes to kills. They've opened up that wall, but otherwise Kilo gets a kill on the Bravo, and this is not really done here for Bird and the Biceps at all for this take.
Dude, Kilo just peeks, he drops down hatches, just does things that he shouldn't, and he gets away with so much because of his antics. He's still on this top floor and knows that there's somebody just outside of that wall. However, they might have fallen off now. They are still lurking around down on the bottom left-hand side of his screen. His phone rings as the attackers go for a plant, but he's up above. He's able to get that denial. Another one from Benji will make it into a 5-on-2, and you've just got 2 more attackers to find Blarn and Avian. Avian up top. Kilo hits him with the Yola. 3 on the round, and if he can find Blarn, that'll be a very nice 4K to end off run number 10. However, it doesn't seem like he's really in position to do so. Blarn outside of the window, Just about to be an engagement with Benji. Benji peeks it. Doesn't have to, but there's the rotation coming from Lamon. Okami with the flawless round, and that was a way better defense from what we saw the last 2 rounds.
Yes, I would definitely agree at this point. We're on a match point here for Okami, a much better round compared to the last 2 on that Armory Archives take. So Okami now probably feeling a little better now. They need to get the momentum back so they can go into the next map. And we'll see if they can take this last round. They're going to Bathroom and Tellers. This is one of the tertiary sites. They're not going to go back to Venetian Workshop. Or not for sure. They're going back to Army Archives due to how can I say they didn't lose it dominantly, but it's still hard to keep doing that after losing it twice in a row.
Yeah, definitely. Don't go back to Armory Lockers workshop. We did see a lot of these third bomb sites be experimented with at the Invitational. I mean, it's the Invitational. You expect weird stuff to happen. You expect teams to pull strategies out of the bag that you've never seen before. But it seemed to me on Border there was a lot of experimentation with, third sites and even Ventilation Workshop, as I mentioned at the very start of this matchup. So if they were watching the Invitational, then they should have a few extra strategies on this bomb site. Just based on their lineup, it seems like it's going to be something that's relatively pre-practiced. You've got Lamon on the castle, not an operator that you bring if you have a very specific thing in mind for him to be barricading. So it'll be interesting to see where he wants to set up. You've also, again, you're bringing Zed Flak on the mute. So a little bit of that drone denial. You've also got the bandit, so you can go for that double hard destruction denial. I'm interested to see what this setup actually looks like. Looks pretty standard, barricade yourself up inside of the offices, inside the fountain. Could probably put another barricade somewhere around archives. Could do it on either door. It looks like they're going to be doing it. Oh, no, they're going to do it all the way over there by sort of the intersection. So, okay, interesting place to cast barricades. It's going to be quite a wide roam coming from the top floor then. I like it.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that he's bringing the shotgun. Of course, they're going to try to play it vertically, so that's probably why you have the cast with a shotgun. But you have both Z-Flak, Hilo, and Lamon with shotguns. And the only people with actual guns are going to be Prompted and, well, not actual guns, but something other than a shotgun. It's going to be Benji and Prompted. So it's a very different variation here from the side of Okami. They're playing this entirely vertically. They're going to open the floor as much as possible, and they're going to try and deny the plant or deny anything from the side of Brand B. Blind's already taking control east stairs within the first minute or so, already 45 seconds. And this is gonna be B&B trying to roam clear, or are they gonna go try and plant? I'm assuming they're gonna try and roam clear because they can't really try and plant with all this shotguns being held and all these holes being made above.
You absolutely cannot go for just a plant here. I mean, sure, rough strategies have worked in this match before, but if you're burdened biceps, you have to recognize that this is a strategy that if you go for that plant, if you don't deal with the top floor, it's going to deal with you, and you're really going to suffer because of it. It seems like they're aware of it, though. They're doing the right thing. They're going to be clearing from this up top area first, and they're going to spend a lot of time up here. Already using some of these X-Kairos to get in onto the fountain, which is a good strat in my mind. However, it gets tricked by the bandit. Benji, really good play from him to be able to stop fountain from being opened on up. That is pretty huge. Now, you've already wasted some of these sets of X-Kairos. You haven't dealt with anybody, and we're a minute and a half in. If you don't deal with these guys soon, you're going to be forced to push on down to that first floor without having top floor control, and that would be a disaster. Cry Magic barely staying alive as he utilizes this last set of X-Kairos. I think I was pumped from his feet, and it's Avian to open things up, finally stopping Benji with his bandit trick shenanigans.
Yeah, bad tricks indeed. Now going down, there's no ADS to try and stop that grenade from blowing up in his face. So Benji goes down, the walls though open up into fountain. It's only one angle into sight, or into, not even sight, into that roam game from the defense. Avian now tries to push into armory. He's walking right in, but there's also a player right below that little soft wall. Looks like a shotgun of Z-Flag, I think, actually. As I say that, Blanc gets a kill on a Z-Flag instead. As I say that, never mind, Blanc goes down. Avian gets a kill on Lamon. He's playing sights. Prompting takes one as well, and it's all going to Adele. There's all his shots coming out left and right. Cry Magic gets free frag on it. Prompted. Kilo gets Avian. Now down to just Kilo in a 1v3. So not enough refrags on Okami's side to keep them in this game, though.
2-on-1 Kilo alone, not unwinnable for him, but certainly doesn't look likely. Only the SMG-11 and the shotgun to try to pull this one back. Not weapons that typically are thought of as weapons that can deal with a lot of players at once. He's still up in the offices, sees somebody down below. If this could be a free kill, that'd be huge. Bravo Dog stays alive though, and it's Cry Magic up top who hits the headshot. Great play from Burden Biceps, and that seemed to me just like a round that was really well coordinated from their players. There were a lot of like worrying moments when Cry Magic almost died getting off that second X Kairos. That was like a, that's a round winning moment when he stays alive. Very good coordination to be able to catch off these players on Okami. Would have maybe liked to see a little bit more of that drone denial. It seemed like the information was all there. The coordination was really strong from B&B, and they knew how to attack that top floor. They didn't waste their time going downstairs until they had already gotten like 4 frags. So a great clear coming out from Bird and Biceps. And if you're Okami, if you're looking to try that again, ever again, you probably want to bring a little bit more of that like Mozzie or Vigil, because they really struggled in denying that utility. Credit to the Bandit to get that Bandit trick, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, I definitely agree that like there's a lot of coordination to surround that entire top floor, take control, take the fights, and win up most of them. There were definitely a few refrags, making a 1v2 in the end, but not enough to keep Okami in the going. It was Z-Flack on his own, a 1v2. He could have denied the plan actually, but he was still also being encircled by Crime Magic coming around from the same hole he made earlier. So it's really good work from B&B, like I said before. Great information, great work from them. We'll try now for a different site. This is where Okami is starting to have issues. They've been falling back here a little bit. They have not been able to win a defense since winning that Ventilation Workshop one. So they gotta go to a custom supply now, try and win this one out, and win it out entirely. Let's go to overtime. Overtime is probably what B&B won at this point.
Oh yeah, map number 1 really come down to the wire, prompted with his 3rd run out. This time it's just for barbed wire, which is actually a very valid strategy. Can alert you to where those attackers are at once they're starting to approach that wall. You get that extra information. I like that quite a bit. Again, as you mentioned, it was the custom supply, so they've now played every single bomb site on their half. And again, it's going to be a very hard committal to this top floor. This time they spend 1 person on the first floor. It's Kilo with the Alda. And again, he's been strong on that operator so far today, so I like the fact that he's still playing on it and downstairs as well. Will there be a different answer to come up with the attackers, though? Avian a little bit secure thanks to this castle barricade. There is somebody just on the other side of it. Of course, there's no way that he could possibly know that. They're going to be rotating into waiting room now, and as this hold continues to be pressured, there's not a lot of top floor aggression coming out from the attackers just yet, and that could be a big issue that bites them later on.
Yeah, at this point, they're really kind of taking it slow. First minutes got by. They took a lot of time, droning out, figure out what's going on. There's a little cheeky peek hole from Lemon, trying to find Blind, but he won't make the shots with the ump. So now, at this point, they need to try and clear out the players in CCTV or security and break room. As it looks like Avian's going to rappel down the courtyard, open it up. He's actually opened a punch hole, try and find a player. I don't know if the player inside of security sees the punch holes. It looks like he's trying to find a head of anywhere, but he can't see anybody. Just nobody can find anybody. They're all the way back in security, so he can barely see them at this point.
Not a bad angle to hold, though, for Avian. I mean, he certainly has the opportunities to find it. It's not a rappel that most people take. Could be pressured from the offices, but it just hasn't been quite yet. Lemon in an interesting position where you could maybe go for that. The office is actually controlled by the attackers, so yeah, that's not going to be punished at all. Really well played by him. Cry Magic, excuse me, does take the first frag in a round, though, with Benchy falling. That's Raycog off the board. That's a big player disadvantage when we walk into round number 12, and you're going to be up against overtime if you do lose 4 more players.
It looks like they'll see one. Lemon's is another pushing through between Armory and Archives. It was Avian. He doesn't make the shots though, and now looks like they're trying to open up. Z-Flag gets a shot onto Blind though. C4 blows Blind up. Crime Magic gets another kill on Lemon, 2 for the round. And I think that Hatch, is that Hatch client side? He tried to drop through it.
I'm not sure. Bravo Dog gonna be able to take down Prompted either way. That's a now, well, 2-player advantage, 3 down on the defense. You just gotta find Kilo and Z-Flag. Kilo hasn't really done any shenanigans just yet. Again, he's done been a little bit creative so far in this matchup. Z-Flag rotated down, Kilo vaulting over the staircase, finds his teammate. Phone is a buzzing, so he's going to be a little bit noisy as he rotates into the bomb site. Crime Magic can start this plant. Kilo knows there's somebody above him, but still stops the plant and gets the double. Kilo with the ult has been so big, his teammate's fallen, but he only has to stay alive for 9 seconds and deny this plant. Avian's around, Kilo kills his teammate, and the quad kill comes out for Kilo. Okami take map number 1, and what a round from Kilo. They will go 1-0 up in the series. GG, well played from Kilo. Indeed, my man, that guy just popped off.
Yeah, that was so close to being a tied game and going to overtime, but Kilo will clutch it for his team. And you know how many kills he had? He had 24 kills. 24 kills.
That's a lot of kills.
Yeah, 24 kills. Kilo was on his aim today. My god. But anyway, guys, we'll be back in a little bit with the next map. We'll make some changes real quick. We'll get the map going. We'll be back in a quick second. Stay tuned. We're back, guys, with the second map. Feels bad, man. I did think it quickly. Already with the Thatcher.
They said they were ready, Benny.
Yeah, they were ready already.
Fine.
That was
They're
fast. Alright, guys, we're back with the next map. It is Bang. This is the Burn Biceps map pick. I'm gonna change the. This is the Burn Biceps map pick. One map goes in the way of Okami. Now we're on to map 2, where hopefully we see Burn Biceps bring it back, and hopefully they can bring it to map 3.
Double Valk ban across 2 maps coming in from Burden Biceps. Okami get the last ban where they will decide to take out Kaid. So they joked in the lobby before we jumped in that there would be a Finka ban. However, we don't see it, which is a big disappointment for me. I'm kidding. I love seeing Finka. I hope we get to see more of her this game, but probably less common on Bank as opposed to Border. Just most of the bomb sites you can't really rush into. Like, you're not going to rush Basement unless you do, but probably shouldn't.
People do it.
I guess maybe you could rush up top, you know, those first floor, maybe like open area. I don't know. I don't want to theorize too much here, but probably going to see less of it, at least for this first half, because of course it will be Burden Biceps starting the attack.
So Thatcher's off the board, Capital's off the board, but you have Mirror now available because they banned Valkyrie and Kaid, which makes sense though. With Thatcher off the board, you ban Kaid in a response, and you ban Valkyrie, of course, because how powerful Valkyrie can be on Bank. But now Mirror's available, Echo's available. Very different play now.
Yeah, very true. These bans really not punish the defense like we usually see. Right, most maps we see a Mirror off the board. We see either a Maestro or an Echo off the board. None of those options being taken out this time around. So, you know, we said this last time, like Okami had the second attacker ban, and they really punished the attackers, tilted it away from their favor. This time, again, they have the second defender ban, and they really don't punish the defenders too much. So this time maybe they're tilting it more so in their favor. It didn't hurt them too bad last time, but perhaps since this isn't their map pick, they feel like they need to boost a little bit more.
Yeah, we'll be interested to see this, because if this is gonna be more defense side than usual, probably with them available. I expect it to be. I don't know, we made the whole attacker side thing, which actually was true for last map, which I guess is border already attacker, or no, you said defender side for border, because they banned Thatcher and Thermite, but it was still attacker side no matter what anyway. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna say defender sided again because we have Mirror and Echo available, but I could be wrong like usual.
It's all right. We're all wrong now and again, as casters more so than most people. So we take a look at this hold. I mean, they're in the basement, locker CCTV. This is what you'd expect. You're gonna put the smoke up on the top of server stairs. Benji's in a bit of a flex position where he can help out Prompted if he needs to, but more so he's just watching Dirt Tunnel for now. He can stay in here if Prompted chooses to retreat, which he probably will at some point. Zed flacking a little bit aggressive. He's not going to stay there for long. As soon as he finds somebody in dirt, he's going to back on off, but there's nobody there, so he'll stay until there's a little bit of pressure coming in through the server stairs. Otherwise, I mean, Lamon down below and the last player alive. Who's that even going to be? I guess Kilo. Also going to be just hunkering down inside of the bomb site. So really standard stuff to come out here. This Mirror window, maybe not as common because she's often banned, but not placed in an unusual spot at all. So I guess this is just standard stuff to come out from,
just noticed
both
they have 3 Heart Breachers.
Yeah, they do. They do have 3 Heart Breachers.
They can get every hatch open. It's a very different story. Especially on this big Bank defense. Usually why I see Hibana ban on Bank usually, because they can open up every hatch, and now the defenders have to worry about every single hatch. That's a lot.
We're talking about how this is maybe going to be a little bit more defender-sided, but with all of these options available to the attackers, they didn't really get hit too hard by the bans either. So both of these teams, both these sides, really have a lot of tools at their disposal.
Bomb located by attackers.
At this point, like, I don't know if they really need to push Prompted. Like, they're all looking towards that way to push Prompted at blue stairs. I don't know if they're going to go for it or not. Again, there's no Thatcher, so they can't get rid of the ADSs without really burning them. So you see Crime Magic throwing as many as he can to burn them up. Prompted's pushing his way down the stairs. He actually gets a kill on the AV with the SMG-11, pushing down the stairs through the hatch. So this is kind of a problem now. Another spill comes out, and he's wasting time.
questionable drop prompt has been very elusive so far. The bottom server stairs. If he can get, anything else at this point, he's had a very good round. He's going to run up to the top now, shotgun in hand, and push very aggressively through his own smoke. Actually, everybody's dropped, so he's now behind them, and they're not going to know. They think he's still inside the server stairs. He's going to have a really good advantage. Brings up the SMG-11, and they're like, where did he go? He sees the feet of one player. Now he gets spotted on the drone, so the jig is up. He's going to have to run all the way out
Oh
to
my
the
God.
archives. In a very interesting spot. Prompted is now going to be a big thorn in the side of the attackers with 25 seconds. They got to root him out. He could be a big problem. He does get peaked, though, and he will get felled by Zoinkers. So problem averted, but you still only got 15 seconds to get on in. There's still some utility to be used by the defenders. Yokai drones, C4s, all of them being thrown out, and Lemon hits the first one. Beautifully done with the Cry Magic. Zoinkers has the diffuser now and can start going for this plant. He is inside default plant spot, but Zeb Black with his C4 will deny it. Now it's a 2-on-4. They come from behind, but it's not going to be fast enough. Okami do defend in a really good, strong first round by them.
Yeah, that was just a lot. They took way too much time to try and take servers. Oh, and also too much time to go for a flank as well. So just more than anything, time management on the B&B side. But still, really good C4s and just overall prompted. He wasted so much time and got a kill off of it. Like, wow. That's probably the star play of that one, was just how much time prompted took off the board. And then he even ran away, too, and just wasted more time because they had to find him in archives.
To steal a meme from Seal Quals of past, Prompted's being promoted off of the smoke. He'll get moved over to the mute, which is a little bit better. Probably going to have a little bit more freedom in terms of where he wants to roam around. They go to Teller's office archives for round number 2, which isn't where you see most people go. I'm going to keep referencing the Invitational because it just happened, and we have a lot of fun stats that I absorbed into my brain thanks to CGG. CEO was actually pretty low in terms of defender win rate at the Invitational. I do wonder if, as this year of Siege continues to move on as we play more and more Bank, are we going to see teams just like going away from that top floor? Because with that window play especially, it can provide a lot of opportunities for the attackers to really put pressure on the defense and cut off a lot of rotations, make it hard to play on defense. And if this bomb site right here in Archives Tellers is good, then why not just keep playing it? I mean, it seems like a good bomb site, at least on paper.
Well, yeah, especially because you can play this far away, too. You can play from kitchen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can make a lot of rotations. That top floor destruction is something you got to worry about, but I think that's even like less oppressive than window play can be if the attackers are really prepared for it.
I definitely agree too, especially with like all the rappel, like not even on the windows itself on CEO, but the windows play like north rappel or on the west way too. Like there's so much you can't play around banana. Sometimes I can't even play office even because they're shooting from west Y or west or the north rappel. I definitely agree. There's a lot of different angles for that CEO and why it's kind of falling off is more people figure out how to deny and deal with the players inside of sight. So we'll see, of course, they're pushing upstairs to get that vertical play that you talked before. But since like a lot of players on the side of Okami are playing horizontally, that vertical play may not be as impactful, but it will be when they go for the plant.
Definitely, Bird and Biceps were expecting a top floor, and well, on the top floor, they will lose their first player. Wanted to tear up some of those floorboards from above, but gets felled thanks to a C4, and that's a big hit to your morale. As I just said, maybe the most oppressive thing about this first floor defense is that floorboards can be ripped apart above you, and they can be tough to deal with. Well, if the Buck eats a C4 like that, and there's no sledge on the board, or really any other soft destruction, then you kind of don't have to worry about that too much. Perhaps Zoinkers will have some breaching charges. I'd expect that he does. But no, he's got the Claymore, so there's really like no way for you to open things up. They're going to use one of these extra charges just on the soft floor because they know we need holes and we don't have any way to create holes. That's, man, that's a really big C4 kill just due to the fact that you got rid of the only soft destruction. And again, that comes because Bird and Biceps were not expecting an attack on this bomb site. They're expecting an attack first floor. They've got top floor. They've got a great lineup to take down that top floor defense. But with Avian down, they've lost a lot of utility here.
Yeah, it's a huge blow to lose your only soft breacher, your only dedicated soft breacher, which was the Buck. Bravo Dog basically open up the hatches in open area because they know they need this point. They need to deny any kind of off-site play, which will be downstairs in open area. Blarn gets a kill on a Z-Flag, though. Looks like Blarn's pushing onto site. He'll get one kill of one of the people playing on site, which was the smoke. That's a good person to get rid of. Cry Magic will work on getting that wall open into CCTV. Probably trying to make us back in sight. Kilo takes a lot of damage, actually finished off by Blarn too. So Blarn still playing those square stairs. He'll get 2 players off of it. Now Cry Magic, he sees that site is pretty much clear. They don't have any dense soft breach, so they couldn't create a vertical play here to at least allow Cry Magic, or at least later on, play it vertically later on when they go post plants. The question is, can Cry Magic get away with the plants? Say that Bravo Dog has killed Lemon, and he could actually get with it. 20 seconds left to go. Go for the plant behind the desk instead of pushing it at the breach wall instead. So it looks like he's someone covering him as well. Blarn has made his way into archives. He's able to play it as Benji gets a kill, Bravo gets 1, and Blarn gets a prompted as well. And that's Burn Biceps will take their first attacking win here on Bank.
It feels like the hard anchors over on Okami just didn't really know the angles that they were playing in. I mean, both your smoke and your echo being killed, just standing on site from a long angle being played by Blarn. I mean, that's a bit of a yikes in my mind. You really want to keep those guys alive, and I get it. You're on that first floor. There's a lot of angles you got to worry about, but you need to know those angles. If you're Kilo, or if you're the smoke in that situation, Zed Flak, you've got to be able to stay alive. And not knowing your angles is going to hurt you a lot in that round. Credit to Lemon to go for some sort of a flank to save that round, but it was being watched as it should be by Bird and Biceps. They were covering all of their bases, and just a really good transition after losing your buck so early. It seemed like they were in a bit of a frenzy, but some, I don't want to say lucky, but fortunate picks coming out from Blarn saves that round for them and really allows them to just walk on into sight and go for that plant.
Yeah, I would say overall they really got good coverage when they went for that plant too. They didn't see him south stairs. They need to deny that at all. So Cry Magic did run into behind the desk and go for plant people behind him, covering Bravo Dogs, covering people pushing through elevator. You had Blarn able to get 2 kills from square stairs and then push back into site and cover site from cover people rotating back into site. So really good work from side of B&B. We'll see if now Okami changes up what they do, if they maybe get more aggressive, denying that top foot presence, or if they just need to be more wary of. Or hopefully the anchors are aware of when they're getting pushed from that square side.
With the last map as close as it was, I'm sure exhaustion's going to start to creep into these players' minds. Maybe not just yet, as we're only 3 rounds into map number 2. But if this continues to be a back and forth game, if we go all the way to map number 3, if we make it to Clubhouse and, we get some overtimes in here, we get some round number 12s, this is really going to be an exhausting series. And keep in mind, the winner of this plays Joe Esports or Slaughterhouse tonight. There's a lot of Siege to be played, so I would be very concerned from these 2 teams, just based on the fact that exhaustion is really going to start to set in. But that's maybe a conversation to be had in a few rounds if this continues going back and forth. Right now, it's again going to be a push onto this top floor as it was last time. This time there's pressure, though. Benji is playing on this top floor. He's also got help from some of his teammates, too. So you've now tried to stall out the players who are going to be attacking on this top floor. If you can delay a little bit more time, maybe go for a jump out as Benji is tempting it, then you could be in a good position, but you've got to be careful you don't lose too many players as well.
Yeah, I do see that Okami now have adjusted, and now they're playing this top floor at least a little bit. I say a little bit, there's 3 players, prompted Benji and Kilo. Kilo again with a hold does. He ripped people last round, 24 kills. He's looking to maybe make another 24 kill game here as well on Bank. And there's 3 players, auto B&B trying to take control. There's 2 in the windows and 1 trying to push through. Avian's trying to push through from the square side. Hopefully it doesn't get C4'd again though, like last time. That really put a damper on these plays. Cry Magic get the first kill on Benji though from the windows. That's a good start to get rid of the Jaeger.
Not again, not again. Down below, it wasn't a C4, it was an impact followed by the ump. So, Avian, not quite the same story, but still, you're being shot from down below with the buck. It's not what you want. Zoinkers with the intel is able to get a frag, but it's retraded immediately by Prompt. That's a really good trade to find, but Blarn is there to get the retrade again. So it's going to be a now player advantage favoring Bird and Biceps as these kills go back and forth again. Zed Flak and Lemon, the 2 remaining defenders. That's a good hacked drone to be taken away from Blarn. Both these players are down below. At least they were before. Lemon might go for a flank, just given his playstyle, but no. He's going to continue to sit back down inside of the bomb site. Zed Flak is well down here. I would be very worried about where this floorboards are going to be destroyed from. Again, all that soft destruction's gone, though. So unless they do the same thing they did in round number 2 and use next with thermic charge, they're at least not going to have to worry too much about that.
Yeah, they use an extemic charge. Z-Flak or Lemon could just shoot it out this time instead. And so I'm interested to see if they go for that same push and tell us open up the wall and go for the same push, and if someone's gonna go behind like Blarn like last time and take control archives, because that's really what won them around, is they took control of sites so handily. I don't know if they can do the same thing as we actually have anchors playing site this time. Wall gets opened up. Crymatic starts to shoot through one of the doors into Tellers. Doesn't find any shots on Laymon, and time is not running out. 9 seconds left to go. They could easily deny us with the C4 as he brings plant to the fuser. Now Z-Flag and Laymon to deny this plant. I don't know if they know it's going down or not even. He's gonna pre-fire the position where he does plant, but it doesn't take the shots, and he's Bravo Dog take 2 right there on Laymon on Z-Flag, and another win for Burden Biceps to tie it up.
I think across
Actually, no.
2 maps.
Not tied up.
Sorry?
Not tied up.
No,
They're winning.
2-1 now for VNB. I think across 2 maps, we've seen some really good coordination on the attack from Burden Biceps. On Border, it maybe didn't show up as often as it should have, but when it showed up, I mean, it was very apparent that they had good coordination between their players. Here we've seen that again twice in a row attacking onto Teller's Archives. It's been very, very thought out, right? There's a player who's droning and there's a player following up immediately. They tried to hold up top with a bunch more players, right? In round number 2, you saw Okami have just basically giving up that top floor for free, playing it with C4s, which worked at the start, but then sort of spiraled out of their control. Round number 3, they do a similar strategy, but they move way more people up top this time. Again, it's a similar bomb site, same bomb site, but you're playing way more people up top. And they get droned out and capitalized off pretty quickly by Burden Biceps, and they can use that advantage their way. So yeah, I mean, don't go there again would be my advice generally for Okami. Burden Biceps just too well coordinated for that defense to work, and I don't think they'll attempt it a 3rd time.
Yeah, it seems like though when Okami went, well, Burden Biceps really finds a number on Okami's defense, they know how to keep getting it down. Again, it was a little less close this time, like closer this time for Okami. They almost took the round back, but B&B are still really coming back, figuring out how Okami plays, and really dig down deep and getting those wins. And again, you said before, they're really coordinated when they need to be. Like sometimes you'd see the opposite where they're totally in the other spectrum, but when they're coordinated and they're doing well, they're doing well. It's really good to see. Hopefully this time we see them play a bit different this time and stop prompted playing the smoke last time. He held on to Blue Stairs for like the entire round. I know it's gonna happen again because he's playing Mozzie this time, and also it's a very much more aggressive, ambitious roam play from Okami on this round.
Yeah, it seems like the strat book is quite deep to come out from Burden or from Okami. You're going to be going for a much more like drone denial, the classic mute Mozzie visual combination, stacked up with a castle as well. You're going to have to waste a ton of utility to deal with all of these. I'm talking frag grenades, I'm talking like that's IQ utility as well. It's just going to be slow to make it through all of this drone denial. And if they can maybe take control of this top floor quickly and then use Zoinker's utility to be able to spot out those things from above, that could speed things up a little bit. That's not going to help you as much when just those players are around there and you don't know if they've retreated or not because your droning has to go so slowly. I would be worried here if I'm Burden Biceps as to how quickly you can deal with these guys. However, I'd also be grateful that it's not the same strategy you lost to in round number 1.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see how much roam game. Okami here are spending so much people on roam game, and last time it was prompted to waste time. It looks like they're more focusing on the team itself to waste time in general. I'm wondering how exactly they're going to attack this open area and floors. They need to get rid of these defenders. Blarn outside right now, looking to push through. I don't know if there's a hole. It looks like there's a hole there for Benji, but he's actually Blarn's able to pass by it unscathed. He does see the kill. And he does find it on the Benji. There's already first good kill. 1 roamer off the board. Someone is close by to go for the refrag though.
Good on Blarn to be able to find that opening pick. Laymon also taking a bunch of damage from Bravo Dog. So that's both of your roamers now somewhat dealt with. There are still a couple aloof. Prompted's going to be able to get a kill thanks to that fact, but they've actually started to rotate downstairs. Avian finds Prompted with a refrag, so you're in a 4-on-2. That's pretty good attacking down. Zedflak finds another kill into Blarn, so that's the that's more that hard destruction gone. Thankfully, they brought 3, so they don't have to worry too much about losing it unless Bravo Dog also goes down. Kilo with an aggressive position on main stairway is looking for somebody who might push around from the back. With only 3 attackers, it's unlikely that they're going to be pushing this angle. Puts a lot of pressure on Zedflak, especially if nobody pushes Kilo, then Zedflak is kind of alone trying to deal with this default. It's been a bit slow from the attackers. They're just now taking control of server stairs. Nobody's really watching it unless there's some dead people on cameras. Zedflak's focusing more on this hatch as he probably should be. He's got a nitrocell in his pocket. So with 25 seconds, he's in a good position to deny the flank. If there's somebody watching this, though, that could be really bad for him. Shotgun in hand, looking to maybe open up some more holes. He gets caught off guard, though. Avian from above finding Zedflak means that Kilo is alone. He's going to have to go for some yokai play. Does he have any alive? He's going to check just now, and he does have 1. Where is it? It's in a good position to stop the plant, but he doesn't have time, and it's being pushed too. Avian with a really big round, catching a lot of players off guard, gives Burden Biceps round number 4.
I said it was going to be a defense side. Apparently I was wrong. Again.
You're a caster. You're always going to be wrong.
I'm always being wrong, apparently. But either way, you still have Mirror, you have Echo on the board. You still have all operators you expect to be really powerful for the defense. And they're being used, and they're still losing some of these defenses. It's still 1-3 in the favor of the attackers of Bird Biceps. As they go back to the Lock CC, and it looks like from the lineup, they're going back for normal play. Is that a fuse? No, it's a Glass instead, actually. Very confused here from Blard.
6 pick. Do it. Yeah, that's what I thought. He's got no, you know.
And the Mirror was teased too, apparently. It wasn't pick from Castle. But either way, it's looking very good for Bird Biceps on their map pick. They definitely know what they're doing. I definitely know why they picked this map.
Attackers need to locate and
They look strong. I mean, that first round aside, they've been perfect, which is, you know, always nice to see. It came thanks to some really good attacks onto the Teller's Archives bomb site. You know, they seemed really well coordinated there. It's sort of a different ballgame when you're attacking downstairs, but when the defense play it in the same way that they did, with Okami spreading themselves up on that top floor, it kind of is the same story of like, well, if the attack's really well coordinated and they don't have too much trouble dealing with your drone denial, then it's kind of the same thing as attacking on that first floor, because most of your players are on that first floor. So interesting that they would choose to switch it up over on the side of Okami. The fact that the sort of hard bunker in lineup worked so well the first round, it's questionable why they would change it up in round number 4. They can bring it back here in round number 5 due to the fact that it didn't work. But you've got a lot of tools available to you, right? You've got the Mirror, you've got the Yokai. Why not use all that? And so I think they're going back to their roots here. They're playing a more standard way. Perhaps Prompted will play Ring Around the Rosie and Hide and Go Seek or whatever game he likes and waste like 30 seconds in the most crucial times again. Perhaps he won't. I don't think it matters. I think this is still going to be a bomb site that favors them.
Yeah, at this point, playing this passive or playing this with the intent of wasting time is really what works most of these anyway. And so it just seems like, yeah, Okami bring him back out. You know it works. They're going to keep with it because they can't be losing too many rounds, especially on this half. If they go 4-2, if they go 5-1, it's not looking good for them or anything. Honestly, maybe 4-2 is not that bad, but 5-1 or 6-0. Oh, that's 6-0. 5-1 is not good. Well, they can go 6-0. Crazy.
No, a 6-0 would be very bad because it would mean that we've messed up the lobby somehow after a
that's just...
That's,
but either way,
not good
yeah. Yeah, that'd be crazy if he's messing the lobby. But either way, you see them going up. They take control of open area. They're going to go to work. Again, bring in those 3 hard breachers they said before. Even though it seemed like the bans are more defensive side, having 3 hard breachers on the board is actually really big help to the attackers, especially on a site like Bank, or a site like this on Bank. Let's say that Prompt is dead. Never mind.
That's huge. I mean, that was the big problem in round number 1. Now Prompted doesn't do anything, right? He doesn't even waste time, really. I mean, you take him down at 1:40 on the clock. That's great. Benji is just going to run outside of servers, so playing a little bit safe from him. I don't hate that strat, so he's going to be able to maybe go for a flank. He's really going far through like the gold vault now back with Zed Flak. But this is like 1:23, and look at the attack. They're already focusing inside of the server room. They're looking to open this up. Crime Magic will get it open. Take a look at round number 1. What were they doing? They got in this point at like 15 seconds on the clock. This is so much faster, a minute faster to get inside of servers, to focus on these hatches now, watch for a flank a little bit more passively, right? You're watching for Benji because you've got 5 alive. You can do stuff like that. You don't have to leave angles open. And now they can go for this plant. They can bait out utility, and they can take a lot of time to do so. This is going way better for Bird Biceps just compared to that first round.
So really, more than anything, you see now Crime Magic getting planted a fuser. There's still C4. The Yokai is still available too. A C4 Stone 1 did not get any kills, but still quite a bit of utility still on the side of Okami to deny this plant. A flash comes through to try and stop Lamon from throwing a C4. Surprised there's no Maverick to try and Maverick holes to deny the C4. As Keelik's killing Avian though. There goes to make it equal grounds here. It's 4v4. With 20 seconds left to go, still going for the plant. C4 comes through. Nobody's watching for the C4. Can he deny it? No, it's 2 kills actually for Lamon. He gets Stoinkers and Crime Magic. Bravo Dog don't get Benji though, at least. But still now 2v3 with just Bravo Dog and Blarn. Surprised that Blarn wasn't down there rather than Zoinkers trying to hold it and stop that C4. Bravo Dog gets killed Z-Flag. Now it's going to be a drop from Blarn. He has to descend like Avian does to get a kill. It doesn't matter actually. It's a read from Keeler. They got Blarn. Bravo Dog gets 3 for the round and he gets a 4th actually on the Keeler with this Histo. And Bird Biceps take that round somehow.
What was that? Bravo Dog, stop. Jesus. There's no way that he should be dropping down and winning that. I was about to go into how patient Lamon was being with the C4 and really like save that round. Why weren't the attackers opening up the other wall from servers? But it doesn't matter if Bravo Dog does that. It drops and gets a 2K with the pistol. I mean, it just shouldn't happen, but it does. And that means it's a 4-1 scoreline going the way of Bird and Biceps. That's one you'd like to have back if you were Okami. I thought that, of course, like losing your smoke up top hurts you quite a bit, but there was a good passive play from Benji to retreat. Went for the flank, but didn't commit to it so hard that he died. Then Lamon being very patient with those C4s. The attackers, again, didn't open that second wall inside of servers. So they couldn't really shoot the C4s after it got flung out. Because of it, Lamon got a 2K. And then Bravo Dog jumps on in. There were a couple other good frags as well to promote from the boys on BNB to get a couple of other kills earlier on in the round. But, man, that's just not a round that should go in favor of the attack. And somehow, through pure gun skill, BNB pull it out.
Yeah, that was crazy. Now we go to maybe the last. This is the last round of the half. This is their last defense, and they definitely want to win this site. They get 4-2 rather than 5-1. 5-1 is very difficult to come back for if you're on the losing side. So definitely interested to see exactly what the change here. It should have been the round more anything. Especially have the C4. That C4 should have been their half. But again, with all these heart breachers on the board, there's so much to watch for. There's so many angles that the attackers come for this site. So it's not crazy to see lose it. Prompted being killed early on in the beginning definitely was a big thing there. So hopefully Prompted can stay alive. We'll see though.
I mean, I certainly think that playing the same bomb site with the same strat is the way to go. It worked the first time. The second time you played a different strat, so it doesn't count. And then the third time it should have worked. So keep your head on your shoulders, right? You've lost this bomb site twice in a row, but that doesn't mean that you immediately have to forfeit it. Prompted playing a lot more passive this time around. Of course, since he got punished in round number 5, you've got to be a little bit more careful. But he's still got an ADS around him, and there's nobody even in the Skylight stairwell room. So you can stay up here for a little bit longer. Just don't get too aggressive with your pushing, because that is kind of what bit him in the butt last round. I think you're in a good spot so far. Just to keep on applying pressure to these attackers, make them slow down a little bit more from these server stairways, but really just bunker in and be ready with your C4s when they go for their push.
Yeah, looks like they're gonna burn the ADS once more here for Prompted. Now they open the hatch, of course, and so this is where Prompted hopefully doesn't die out too quick this time, or he's gonna get picked off again like last time. So let's see what happens. As Benji, of course, playing behind server stairs too, and this is really the big thing too last time is how well they're able to take control of server stairs so quickly. They had a minute and 20 to deal with all the utility, and that they did, even though that Lamon got 2K with that C4. So I'd say that looks like Avian will drone it out. Card Magic there. Prompted is getting aggressive. He's looking for an angle to try and walk out and get aggressive. Looks like another. Oh, actually, grenade coming down onto Benji instead. I don't know if it's gonna work though. As now when he gets aggressive, Benji gets the kill on Avian. Even gets a flash too.
Yeah, Benji probably shouldn't have won that gunfight either, but he does so. So that's going to be a 5-on-4 now. The defense looking very, very good. They still haven't rooted out Prompted, so this is looking more like round number 1 and less like round number 5. Of course, very good for Okami, because that was the only round they've won so far. You just passed that minute mark left in the round. He's still dealing with the smoke inside of the server stairs, and you're still worried about Benji down below. I mean, he's always going to be a thorn on your side. Another kill from Benji just through the hatch. He's finding Cry Magic. Is he going to get a third? No. Finally, Blarn shuts him down, but the damage has been done. You still haven't dealt with the smoke on the top of server stairs. What are you going to do? You almost have to ignore him at this point, but then what do you do for a main stairs push? You've got to push the smoke at some point, but this is a fight that almost nobody's going to win. Maybe Bravo Dog with a pistol, but otherwise, I don't really see a lot of people going for that. He drops elevator again. He's got his teammates pushing down, it seems like, main stairs? No, they're right behind him, actually, as we hear him drop. One inside a garage that he's got to deal with. Knows that, looking for the angle, but without the pistol, he can't hit those. Kilo gets the headshot instead. Zoinker's in a plant position. He'll start it off, but his teammates are now all dead. He has to get off of it. He wins this first gunfight. Got to find a lot more with so little time. It doesn't happen. Okami, thanks to Kilo, get that round number 6 and don't make it a 5-1 split. Very good for them.
Yeah, much better round there to keep it up, and just not losing Prompted within the first 15 seconds was huge for them. But now we switch sides. We have Okami in attack and Bird Biceps with defense. Either way, Bird Biceps has this game pretty tight so far. They've gone these attacks very well. But now we need to see how this defense goes. Is it going to be Bird Biceps sided or is it Attacker sided?
That's a good question to ask, and one I don't really know the answer to at this point. I think having 3 hard structures alive helps a lot. You can tell Okami, whether they walked into this knowing we're going to play 3 hard structures every round, or whether they saw the success of Bird Biceps and said, okay, let's do that. We'll also be bringing the triple hard destruction on bank. So when it's allowed, why not bring it? That's clearly been a big help to them. This basement bomb site, though, is really going to be where the stories are told. I imagine that let's just give Okami that they can take the top floor bomb sites, as Bird and Biceps did, even if that's the case, they still got to be very good on this bottom floor. The fact that they messed it up twice really hurts them. Once was their fault. The other time was kind of just Bravo Dog popping off. But I think Okami are going to have to pull out some magic in terms of like attacking this bottom floor. Maybe not in round number 1, but once we get into the last quarter of this match, you're going to want to see Okami take these bottom floor fights, just as we saw Bird and Biceps do. Because if they don't, I mean, it's almost impossible for them to bring it back.
Well, too, especially if they win that CEO and tellers we didn't see from Okami, that's the big thing as well. And big thing too as well, there's no mirror coming out or yokais or echo as well. Like there's not that is not seem to be a thing here for B&B. They're sticking to probably what they already know, even though the bans are different. As you see, Ella, I'm pretty sure Ella of Crymatic probably has the FO2. The FO12 was on the board. So it kind of goes in line usually when Mirror and Echo are usually banned, but they aren't. So it's kind of weird to see them stick to it. But you know, they just stick to what they know. As I said, that shots coming from below, and both those shields are the Vulcan shields, along with the ADSs, all 3 right there to deny all of these any projectiles coming through.
Which, all right. I mean, you've got the heavy committal to this the top of server stairs. This was very good, of course, for Okami when they were up here. The rounds that they won were almost solely due. One of them solely due for sure, thanks to Prompted's good play on the top of these server stairs. The other one, he was also quite a big help in. So, fair enough. You're going to put somebody up there, but I agree. It's strange that you're not bringing the yokais. It's strange that you're not bringing the Mira. And now with Zoinkers, the first one to die in the second half, you don't have a Maestro either. So in terms of hard destruction now, you got a C4 from Avian, and you got gas canisters from Blarn. And you're not playing Blarn top server stairs, so he's not going to waste those gas canisters early, so you will have those when the plants come out. But that's still not a lot of utility, especially when you're talking about blockers hold. Some of those deployable shields going to be burning out, meaning that Cry Magic can't stay up here for too much longer. If they just waste one more bit of utility, of course, the ADS is their goal is to stop that. But, you know, it could get burned out. He shoots his own, but it's already burnt, so it's not a big deal. How long Cry Magic survives could be the difference maker in terms of how this round goes for the defense.
There's so many shields.
There's a lot of shields.
And a lot of shields. But yeah, I gotta agree. It's like really how long he stays here. Big thing too is that since they have no ADSs anywhere else, if you're playing inside of red, you can get grenaded out. Like you can't play in red nearly as well with the grenades on the board still from either from Prompted here at this point. I say looks like Bravo Dog gets aggressive. Crymatic still playing. It's 50 seconds left, and there's still one more ADS with charges. Looks like that one ADS is now gone, so second grenade comes through, and now he has to walk through, and one shot comes through. Crymatic backs off for a second. Looks like trying to re-peek this or trying to quick peek it. Another guy comes through, and it's gonna finish him off probably. Yes, it does, because he can't go forward because the fire's in the way. So Prompted with 2 kills so far, and now it's on to Bravo Dog trying to maybe deny even more time, as it's down to 30 seconds left, but still 5 members of Okami still alive, and he's just trying to hide for as long as possible, but they're coming from all directions. He hears one to his right. He'll get the kill at least on the Benji. He tries to go for a second, but Prompted will shut him down with 3 for the round. It's down to just Blarn and Avian. Avian trying to hold on the back while Blarn's trying to hold his best onto the side of the bomb site. He has no more toxic cases. A drop though from one player. It's gonna be Kilo. It's actually 2 will come down, and now it's down to just Avian and a 1v4. It's not gonna matter as he finished off by Prompted and Kilo, and Okami will take the first attack.
I think that ended like 4-0 in terms of man count, but that was actually a really close round. Time was very much against the attackers as Okami tried to barrel into that bomb site. They were very close to losing it. If they were just a few seconds later, that would have been the end. I worried about how long they took to dispatch Cry Magic, who's playing at the top of those server stairs on the Ella. You know, it seemed like it was a little bit too long for my taste, but they brought a ton of utility for Okami. They were clearly ready for the triple ADS setup on top of those stairs, as well as 2 Goyo shields. I mean, it's a lot of utility to deal with, but they did have it all in their pockets, and they were able to do so. So, you know, that combined with the fact that Maestro went down early, you know, Bravo Dog did his best, you know, bless his heart, downstairs inside of servers, but it's tough to get really too many impactful frags. They shut him down quickly enough, only losing 1. That was good from them, and then it's just a race. Let's find these final 2 players. Let's find Blarn. Let's find Avian. Let's kill them before this clock strikes midnight. And they were really in a good plant position after Blarn went down, so they were in a fine position to just wait out Avian, and that's exactly what they did. It means that it's going to be a 3-4 game at the moment, which is a little bit better than a 4-2. And well, we'll go back to the exact same bomb site because clearly B&B felt like they can hold this one again.
Yeah, B&B are trying it again. It seems to be the same lineup though. Nothing really changed. Actually, no, I said it. I lied. Zoiker's changes. He changes from, I think he was playing
Maestro.
Maestro. Oh yeah, he got killed last time on main stairs too from above because Prompted was holding the angle down all the way to the bottom of the stairs, up of the south stairs. So hopefully this time Zoinkers doesn't get killed out too early, and those yokais will be helpful in denying a plant, even though the plant wasn't really the biggest thing. So hopefully this helps them out, and we'll see if they can hold on to these server stairs and not lose all their members. At least waste time and not lose everybody.
They were using some of that reinforcements up on this top floor, and I'm not even just talking about like hatches. The first floor, they did have one into tellers. There we go, that one right there. So perhaps that's is that where we saw Zonkers die last time? Because if it was, maybe just a little bit of reactionary play coming out from the anchor player. You want to keep him alive a relatively long time. You know, they're going to play him inside of the garage more likely than not, just to stop anybody from pushing down in. I like the Echo down there instead of the Maestro just in general. Of course, it brings an ACOG with it, and yeah, the Alda is nice, but it's a really long angle instead of garage. So I like these 6 picking over to the Echo, and then I like that he's helping himself out a little bit more with those reinforcements up top. It's going to stop somebody like Prompted from taking an angle like that. And sure, he can still play up top here, but as long as you don't get too aggressive, it's not going to be into the world for you. So fair enough. I think I like this small adaptations coming in. I don't think we need adaptations, and they're not bringing adaptations. That's nice to see.
Yeah, at this point, it looks like they still stick with the same play. This time, they're able to get rid of that same Vulcan shield again in the beginning. Crabmatic's still playing behind the second one though, because they have 2 just like before. I don't know if I'm not sure how many ADSs is left though, but there's still the same issue where if the second one, this one blows up and then he gets grenaded, he can't really go forward. He has to go backwards. So I'm interested to see how long he stays alive. As it looks like they're gonna open up that server hatch as well. So Bravadog back behind the server rack, and now it's the same kind of situation. How long can Crabmatic stay alive with a minute on the clock?
I mean, Crymagic needs to do what he did last round, and then he needs the rest of his teammates to play a little bit better, to be able to stall a little bit more time or just win some gunfights, because I think he was the best player of his squad last round, just for denying as much time as he did. The grenades come through and they destroy the very first Vulcan shield. Again, last time, the second grenade came through and it killed Crymagic. He was a little bit more ready for it this time, and so he's going to be able to toss on in that Grismont mine and then, well, take this aggressive position once more. Will they know that he's re-aggressed this far? And Bravadog is able to support him down below, and no, they don't. He gets the down. Was he able to get the kill too? Yes, he was. Finished off by Prompted, but I think that's 1-for-1 trade you take. Not if Bravadog comes in and feeds like that, though. With 40 seconds, this is still quite doable for the attackers. They've got their hard destructors, both of them alive, all 3 of them alive, I should say. You dealt with these server players relatively easily, so now you're in a good spot to go for this plant. Again, you're a little bit rushed, but it's very doable at this position. You still have a lot of your players up looking through these hatches. If I'm Flak, I kind of want to get down to those servers relatively quickly, unless that's not where your push is going to be coming from, which would be odd, but certainly not an unwinnable strategy. Lemon drops, looking for the player inside a garage. He's already been taken down by Kilo, though. They don't have full control, and because of that, they go down. Prompted gets the triple, and Blarn's alone in a 1-on-3. The plant's happening from Zed Flak. A little bit late, but again, they beat the clock, and they get that diffuser down. Now it's going to be the post-plant for Blarn. He's on the smoke, so that SMG-11 and the shotgun will be his only tools. No more toxic babes either. One inside of garage, that's an almost unwinnable fight, and one on the floor. That's Zed Flak with the last kill. And Okami take round number 8. Just like that, we're at a tie game.
Yeah, that was already these attacks. So I guess it's attacker sided because they've taken this downstairs site twice in a row now here for Okami, and more than anything, they've just been winning these fights and they've been getting better at dealing with who was Crymagic top of server stairs. Still able to deal with him again like usual, even though it was already better for them because he was able to get a kill, but then he refrags and takes out Bravadog as well. So those are 2 kills to make it them in the favor, 4-3 in their favor, and then they get kills other plays as well. So he's pushing down into garage. Hilo pushed garage and dealt with, I think it was Zoinkers on the Echo immediately. So just really good work for that last minute plays, last minute pushes. And we'll see them go tellers and archives for our next site, as they've lost 2 in a row on the same site. This is looking painful for B&B.
Okami with finally some momentum under their sails. That's 3 in a row. Puts them just 3 rounds away from a date with either Joe Esports or Slaughterhouse in a match that, if they win that one, will secure a spot in the 2nd biggest league in North America. That's Challenger League. So big stuff coming out. Bird and Biceps, they were in a good position to push this to a map 3. It's a little bit shakier now, but they can switch the bomb sides up, and hopefully these top floor bomb sites going to go a little bit better for them. I did mention as we went into the half swap that the attacks from Okami on the bottom floor are going to be key. If you can't win any of those, it's unlikely that they're going to be able to bring this one back and tilt the game in their favor. They've done it twice, and so that is more than enough from what you need. Now just be strong on these top floor attacks like we saw Bird and Biceps do, and this is going to be quite the winnable match from Okami. They're in a great position despite the fact that it's an even scoreline.
1 second. The other match actually finished already. Joey Sports already won.
Oh, okay.
I need to comment on it like right now.
Sure. But we'll continue on looking at this game as well with just 30 seconds into the action phase. It's notable that, well, I was going to say that they brought the Mute Mozzie Vigil combo, but there goes the Vigil as Benji is able to take down Zoinkers. Zoinker's really been favoring that operator throughout the day. He's had mixed results on it, I would say. This time it's clearly not going to be one of his better rounds. Kilo is once again bringing the Finka. I said that maybe he wouldn't, but you know what? When you're not attacking that basement bomb site, you have a great chance to go for those rush strategies, and you're not as congested. You can go for some more Finka play. Why not? If Kilo's feeling it, then let the man do his thing. He was so good last round and prompted just barely missing the head of the player who had dropped down through the elevators. That was Cry Magic, who dropped all the way down to the basement. Thanks to his rotations, he can open up those impacts, and he should be very lucky to be alive right now.
Yeah, it's already unfortunate now as you see Prompt's gonna go to work on this top floor and just open up so many holes. And it's just now this vertical play is gonna be painful for the defenders, but no one's really playing on site except for Blarn. Crymatic's by service stairs. There's one player inside of open area, and there's also Browdog below as well. So there's a lot actually of off-site presence here from BNB, which might be their undoing though, because there's not a lot of players. If they open up that wall and go for a plant, who's gonna be able to stop besides Blarn? As we go to the last minute and 22 seconds left in this round, there's still quite a bit of time for them just to open the floor up and just create as much vertical pressure as possible.
Oh, Blarn hears the footsteps, doesn't quite get the angle just yet. His teammate goes down with Bravo Dog to Kilo, who again is popping off on that Finka. If anybody is, Kilo might be one of the best Finka players in North America. Not a lot of competition, but I think he's made a strong claim for that title today. You've still got 3 defenders to deal with. Of course, there's Blarn inside of Archives. There's Avian in the kitchen. And there's going to be Cry Magic, who's done a lot of rotating so far in this game. Currently at the bottom of main stairs, where they have, I believe, located him thanks to some droning. There we go. Now he gets spotted out if he wasn't before. So he's got to retreat. Go into the garage and maybe strike a little bit later. With a 2-man disadvantage, you don't have a ton of time to play with. You've really got to get back to this bomb site to try to help out your teammates. Blarn has been unwavering in this angle, just watching up above him. He's gonna have to waver from it eventually. There he goes, noticing that, you know what, people are probably gonna start pushing into the A bomb site sooner rather than later, coming in from the lobby. There's Zed Flash who will start this. The castle barricade is closed, so this plant's going down somewhere else. Can you find it? No, not quite. Looks like, oh, the yokai barely saving it in time, but he goes down because of it. Cry Magic falling, and now the second plant might be successful. No, it's another yokai drone to stop it. Now he'll try a third. Blarn has to go for this rotate. He's being shot at though, and he falls. Avian alone in the 1-on-5. He has no hope at all. Okami with the perfect round will take it in round number 9 and get their first lead since round number 1.
Yeah, this is their first lead so far. They've gotten now 4 different rounds in a row. They've changed together so many wins here for Okami, and they're now momentum is flying high for them as that was a really good roam clear on top of just that first kill. Unfortunate for I think it was Zoinkers who was running around, getting caught off guard up the skylight, and then you had players just they're able to drone out and figure all these players and just pretty much split them apart. It just really good way to split them apart, take those kills you need to, and just deal with all of the off-site defenders, take site, go for the plant. Unfortunate Blarn couldn't deny them. I don't know if he had a C4 what he could do, but he didn't want to give his position away. So now we're gonna go for a different site because they just can't seem to find a defense they can get.
Zoinkers with no guts chooses not to stick the Chichanka. Fair enough. As we mentioned, Joe Esports won their game against Slaughterhouse, so the winner of this will be playing against Joe Esports to comment on a couple more of the games that are being played so far in these qualifiers. Brought 2-0 LOLXD, and Run It Back were able to 2-0 Fans. That is the 4th seed over the 13th seed and the 1st seed over the 16th seed. Not a lot of surprises. LOLXD versus Bra was not streamed. The other one was being streamed on Intrinsix's channel. We got 6 channels going live tonight with Challenger League qualifiers, so if you don't know where those are at, you can find them. I'm not going to list them all here because I don't know 6 different Twitch channel names, but it is all linked on my Twitter, so you can go find that if you're looking to see more games. Of course, this one's really ramping up, so don't leave us, but after this one's over, or maybe if you want to open up a multi-Twitch, there's plenty of Siege to watch tonight. It's an exciting day. Of course, 4 teams will move on to Challenger League tonight. One of them is going to be, could be either Okami or Bird and Biceps, and if they can win the next 2 rounds, it will be Okami pushing for that spot.
Yep, as I say, it's not a top floor site. They've had B&B has had no luck so far. Any of the sites so far they played site tellers. They played twice downstairs in the basement. It's been erupting dominating wins here for Okami on attack, and so now we're on top floor. See if they can take this top floor site and hold it against Okami's very strong attack. As Kilo playing Finka again, he's been on that operator the entire time, and he's been well aware of what he can do with Finka. And so it looks like Crymac trying to find a kill onto Kilo early as he's repelling on a peek on that main lobby. Crymagic hears it, tries to go for a kill, won't find him though just yet. One thing too, they got to deny this coverage though from the windows is the big thing. They at least have the castle to deny some of the angles, but you can't deny all of the window play. And so we'll see how exactly that plays out here for B. As a minute gone by, a lot of droning has happened, but not much play from the side of Okami.
Our first executive hold being played in this entire game comes out in round number 10. Again, maybe some tides have changed in terms of the bomb sites that are favored. Benji realizing he didn't bring a claymore, so he's gonna have to work around these runouts some other way. He seems like he might see a body inside there, but here comes the runout from Crymagic. He gets the kill, but traded off immediately as Kilo is just a little bit too late to save his teammate, but can get the refrag. So that's still a very important pick that he's able to find out. He helps with his teammates with one of those adrenaline surges. He's got two more. Tosses the grenade. It looks like it was perfectly timed to open up that castle barricade. Bravo Dog is finding Zedflax somewhere else on this map as well. Avian is there, who has also jumped out with the TCSG. You can tell this lack of claymores hurting the attack quite a bit because of it. It's now a 4-on-2 advantage for the players in terms of Burden Biceps. And they just got to sit pretty. That last run out not being punished means this just got so difficult. And Bravo Dog in a great position to go for this push. But he knows he's probably being watched.
Oh, Prompted still was the fight, but there's so much information. And another fight for Zoiker as he has down, run finished up with Prompted. Now it's a 1v2, but it doesn't matter. Blind finished with Prompted, the headshot with the SMG-11, and Burden Biceps will take their first defense. That's crazy.
You know, it was a little sloppier than it needed to be, but you have such a big player advantage that it's fine. You can get a little rush from Burden Biceps, and they're still able to lock down that round. Really just coming down to some really aggressive window play that we saw. Of course, 2 jump outs, both of them securing kills. It's tough to come back from something like that. You just need more pressure. I mean, the North Repel had one player, as Benji alone, got jumped out on, and then the rotation coming in from Kilo just a little bit late, wasn't really able to help out his friend, and then you know, there was nobody to support him either. So you put one player on North Repel and you're very vulnerable to that stuff, especially when you don't put down claymores. Need to just be a little bit more teamwork, a little bit more buddy system going on to hold that North Repel and punish those types of runouts. Either way, though, it's a 5-5 game. We're going to need all 12 rounds to decide this one and possibly overtime. Things are really going to start to heat up as we move on into round number 11 and then round 12 after it.
Yeah, they're playing open area. I read that and I did not think about it.
Wow, I guess so. Hey, this will be interesting.
They've had issues on all other sites besides CEO, so they had to pick a different site entirely. So we'll see what B&B can bring to this site, which most people don't enjoy. This is a very difficult site most teams to hold, especially because they have a hatch right in the middle of A. Kitchen doesn't have a lot of vertical play, so Kitchen's definitely somewhat hard to take unless you open the walls in the kitchen. Then you have a large sight line in the site. There's not a lot of coverage in kitchen, so it's usually why most teams don't pick this site. But we'll see if B&B has a strategy in mind to hold this site. They are pushing their tellers and archives, of course. You gotta have some kind of horizontal roam here because not a lot of ways you can hide in sight. So we'll see exactly what they bring here. The mirror being probably nice, but vertically you can just deal with the mirror, so maybe not so much. So we'll see. But at the same point, it's like, what exactly do you do for this when you have so much vertical play?
I mean, this is your standard sort of widespread first floor hold. You're opening up a lot of angles. You're reinforcing some other angles to sort of be elusive in terms of where you're actually playing and where you can move from one room to another. And they've combined it with that Mute Mozzie Vigil combination that so many teams are running, and B&B are no exception. They've thrown some players up top here. Now, it looked like it was just Avian. They might have some other players up here with them. It looks like it is just Avian. He's going to rotate back downstairs. I kind of would have liked to maybe see these drone denial operators play up top instead. You throw Zoinkers up there, give them a mute gem or a couple pests, and that could really help you out. But unfortunately, they're just going to throw up Avian and then quickly rotate him back down. It still could waste a lot of time for these attackers, though, because you know they don't know this top floor has quickly been retreated from, and they're still going to waste some time. And Blarn is there with the C4. What have we talked about when the when the soft destructor goes down and you're holding on this middle floor? Well, it can be quite good for the defense.
Yeah, there was your soft trick. There was a sledge. There's probably might be some hard breaches available, like on side of Benji, who was triggered by Claymore the other time they were playing that different site. But now he at least has breach charges for the right occasion. And so now you'll see, of course, Laymon and the rest will go for those hatches. Okay, it'd be nice here, but Kite's banned, so that's not on the board available. So all these hatches will be opened up. And all the players on site, if there's any on site, will have a hard time playing. But nobody's on site really. Looks like there's one below stairs. Bravo, who's now getting aggressive, looking for a kill. He throws a C4 actually, and it will not go off and find anybody. He's gonna pre-fire that corner that they usually use to peek down those stairs and find nobody. As it's still in the favor of B&B, but as I say, never mind. It's now tied up. Kilo takes out Zoinker, is playing inside Tellers with a minute left in the round.
A good pick from Kilo to be able to equalize. You're sort of struggling to find an entryway after you lost Prompted. You're not able to apply that pressure. That's a good push. Avian just running out. Okay, Avian, sure, you get a kill. It's a trade for a trade. I think you're quite happy with that, especially as a defense. You like to be a little bit more secretive when you're holding downstairs here. You can really lower those numbers. Here's a cardiac sensor read coming out from Crime Magic, and he's got somebody. He could go for a C4 as well. Now, Bravo Dog already used his C4 to get a kill onto Prompted earlier in this match, so he can't help him out. It's going to be Crime Magic alone if he wants to use the C4 play. There have been a couple more angles open up from the attack. You've got Kilo pushing in around elevators. You've got Laymon coming in through the closet, and then you've got, well, Black somewhere on the map also going to be trying to get on in. Crime Magic down below going to be trying to continue to deny. They've worked their way into kitchen, but they're getting gunned down. Zed Flack's able to get the trade on the Blarn, who was able to take down the first attacker. First attacker ran on in. Kilo now watching for these defenders. He's not able to get the first nor the second. Crime Magic and Bravo Dog bring it in for Bird and Biceps. They push it to match point.
So the elusive open area staff, or kitchen open area defense works well for B&B, especially because they had this elusive roam game that nobody could really deal with. They did get a couple kills here and they got some refrag, but the C4 from below, pushing in and getting 2 kills, or getting 1 kill onto the person planting, allowing the person holding the rotate onto the person. Again, especially you're in staff area, they took control of site, but they could deal with the ump though. Surprising. So at this point, now we're on match point. They could win this here.
Of course, if this is a successful round for Bird and Biceps, that'll be a 7-5 victory and we'll push it to Clubhouse. If Okami will take this round, then of course that's 6-6. That means we're headed to overtime where Okami will start attacking. Bird and Biceps get the more favorable historically side in terms of defense. But of course, it's been a little bit strange in this match. If we head to overtime, it will be a 4-2 split both times for the attacks. So, you know, you can read into that however you'd like. The bans, of course, being a heavy factor over which way a map tends to swing. Maybe you'd argue that Okami would have a little bit of the advantage if we head into overtime, but they got to get there first. And right now, with another hold on this first floor, they can do a similar thing, and that seems to be what they're setting up for over on Bird and Biceps.
Yeah, it seems to be. So last time they had the same site, there was a lot of just not able to take control. It's just people get caught off left and right. That top floor control not going in their favor, and then just Blarn just sitting there trying to hold an angle on site. And at that point, there's not much you can do to deny the plant. Though he tried to go C4, tried to deny the plant, but didn't work in their favor. So hopefully this time they can at least deny that kind of coverage and that territory taking from the attacking team. But overall, they need to win their fights and stay hold of what they have in the first place. And say that we'll see at least
hold.
Yeah.
Setting things up relatively standardly. Again, you brought a lot of that drone denial with both Blarn, Avian, and Bravo Dog bringing that combo in terms of the Vigil Mutant Mozzie. I like that Zoinkers is off that operator. No offense to Zoinkers, but he hasn't really been super impactful on that Vigil. It's not a bad op, but if he's just dying every single round, maybe he's not using it the most effectively. I'd like to see how Zoinkers does on the Echo instead, which is what he swapped off over to. Avian now still alive as well up top. Has already done a good job in terms of destroying those drones. He can be a little bit more elusive. And in terms of that last round, he really favored getting aggressive, which isn't typically in his playbook. But if that's the way he's feeling, then I say let the man go for it. He's been good so far in this matchup. He jumps down into the lobby now, makes it back to the bomb site, and they still aren't going to know that he's down there. So I think that was a very successful run from Avian. You wasted like a minute, stayed alive, you destroyed some drones. Great job by him.
I definitely agree. It wasn't a lot of time, but it was enough at least to deal with them and prompted Benji at least take damage from C4. I think before it was thrown at them from small office. So not a lot of work done. Not probably the best job, but he did his job either way. He wasted time. He caused now the defenders or the attackers. I mean, the attackers now have to Joe face check everything to figure out if CEO and executives clear still. Prompted to make his way through. Kilo opened the windows as well, and so now top floor advantage is in the favor of the attackers. They're gonna go to work and try to find anybody on site, which will be Blarn or Avian. There's still quite a few attacker or defenders off site too, which will be Crime Magic Zoinkers and Bravo Dog, and I don't know whether or not they're gonna be able to deny all of this territory taking, and whether or not they can deny the coverage. Avian getting aggressive though to a teller's office. He needs to try and see if he can get a kill or pick onto somebody pushing through.
A lot of pressure on the shoulders of Okami. Avian hedging his bets a little bit, looking into the lobby. Can he get this kill? He does a lot of damage onto Zed Flak, who is very worried as he still sits inside of that lobby, but he will be okay. And once again, the elusive Avian will make his retreat. Always just in the back of your mind, where might he be? Not there any longer, as Zed Flak will realize. Looks like his teammate Benji has gone down, can pick himself back up, but he doesn't have the coverage. Blarn gets the opening frag in the last match, or the last round of regular time. There's another one from Bravo Dog as he gets the C4 onto Zed Flak. This has been big. The attacker's starting to fall apart. This could be map 3 that we're looking at. Kilo, Lamon, and Prompted. Well, Prompted starts us off nice and good with a kill on Avian. Finally, that's the Vigil Dispatch, but again, he's been a very big problem for them so far. Lamon will plant under the cover of an Evil Eye, but 2 Evil Eyes actually, as he's shooting at the wrong one. He needs to find out where it's at. He sees it now just beside the desk, but it will deal enough damage to down him and kill him too. That's going to be it. Kilo with no life at all. He's not going to be able to do it, and Bird and Biceps take the half. That's going to be map number 2 going their way. 1-1. We will need Clubhouse.
My god, what a way to end it. Great work to him to be able to deny the play and just time management. Everything is bank. It's difficult though, so I see why, but time management, able to try and deny these defenders. Again, it also just the denial of information though. There was so many, the Mozzie and the Mute along with the Vigil, they had no drones left on the side of Okami to figure out what to do. They had no clue where everybody was, so they go for a plant. They don't know there's 2 Evil Eyes sitting there waiting to deny the plant too. So really good work from BNB to take that last round, deny the whole attacker-sided play, and able to win more defenses than Okami did. So real quick, we'll do a 5-minute break, guys. We're back in a little bit. So
Benny, how do we determine who picks sides since we like tied, or do we have 7-5 on both maps?
I think it's higher seed if I'm not mistaken.
Alright guys, we are back with the last map of this series. It is Clubhouse. We're going to map 3, the decider map between Bird and the Biceps and Okami. Both have won their respective map picks pretty, not say one-sidedly, but pretty decisively, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we've had two 7-5s. So we had the coin flip who starts on what side, and Bird and Biceps won the coin flip. They chose, wait for it, defense on Clubhouse. Nobody was surprised, which is where we're at right now, and that's why the screen is as you're seeing it. Thatcher's going to be the first one off the board. That's 3 maps in a row that Thatcher has been the opening ban. It's been from different teams, but people like to ban Thatcher, apparently. It's going to be Bird and Biceps who don't want him today, and Maverick goes. So different secondary bans 3 times in a row as well.
Well, it makes sense for the map though. Maverick for Clubhouse makes sense all the time. Nobody likes Maverick, and then Thatcher though has been the he's been the match ban for some reason. Kai goes next from Okami, so that kind of makes sense for like last time Thatcher and then you ban once, and then the last ban I'm assuming is going to be Echo, but I could be wrong.
Could also be a Mira. I mean, here on Clubhouse, could also be a Maestro. Honestly, people don't like Maestro on this map. You put him inside of a garage. You know, he can be quite difficult to deal with, but it's an Echo, which is also not fair, or also not weird. Yeah, I think people have been banning Maestro less since he lost his Alda. People have like memes that, oh, you know, losing his Alda doesn't affect him, but definitely has affected Maestro's efficiency. I don't know that it's affected his pick rate, but I'm definitely seeing Maestro lose certain gunfights where you think, well, probably wouldn't have lost that if he had his ACOG.
For a second that you said lost his ult, I was like, oh, he just lost his gun entirely? That'd be crazy.
That'd be what? Shotgun pistol only.
Just with the bailiff. Come on, guys, you can do it. Put the laser on, you'll get all the kills. But either way, we'll start in CCTV and cash for our first defense for the side of B&B. They won the coin flip. They picked the side. Of course, you know, they did it before. No surprise, they picked defense. But either way, we'll see what they bring along. They're bringing the Goyo along. We've seen Goyo on the site before. Just more than anything, you put in cash, you can waste also a lot of coverage, waste so much utility too. So definitely interested to see how they play this out and how well they can deny Okami. Okami attack though has been usually their favorite side though.
That's true. It's been a relatively attacker-sided day, whatever you know that has to stand for things. So I wouldn't immediately make this favor and burden Biceps. And I always say, you know, mathematically, the team that chooses the start inside is maybe at a disadvantage in terms of side picking because the other team gets to choose OT side, and you know that should be more impactful if you take the mental aspect away, which you shouldn't do. But if you did, right, theoretically, it's actually better to not choose your starting side because then you can choose, you know, your overtime side. Something to think about, but I don't think it's going to heavily favor one team or another.
Yeah, it shouldn't really at this point. Both teams seem to definitely know what they're doing. They both showed their stuff on their map pick, and now we go to a map pick that, well, nobody's map pick. It was Decider map. We'll see if B&B on their defense can start the momentum, or if the attacking prowess of Okami is still in the works, no matter what map they're on. Did you say that we're gonna see prompted? They're all droning out. This is again the first thing they're gonna drone out, make sure where they're gonna push through. Nobody's really downstairs. They're not all out of roam game vertically, but horizontally we have Zoinkers and Blarn playing, you know, by construction and bedroom.
Yeah, this looks like it'll be a standard like game for the attackers. They're going to have to open CCTV wall, and that's going to require a lot of hard destruction. That's going to require help from Benji. With no Thatcher on the board, it definitely gets a lot more difficult, especially with no Maverick on the board. I mean, this is basically as hard as it's going to get in terms of opening up this wall. A lot of your tools are gone, so you're forced to use Prompted on the Buck to try to help out from down below. He might be contested from Cry Magic. There's a lot of different tools at play, so it looks like Prompted will be successful. You open it up just fine. Those two attacker bands not impacting Okami, maybe in the way that Burden Biceps were hoping for.
Bomb located by attackers.
Yeah, with the wall open, with the min 15, still the fact that they were able to take control of Lounge and open it from below with no resistance whatsoever, a little bit iffy there for me from buying Burn Biceps, but we'll see what happens exactly, because now it still comes to the point, what is the next plan here for Okami? Are they going to go for Garage, deny Avian and trade control, and then push behind Silver Rack Plants? Or they can go for Construction, where you already have Zoinkers and Blarn playing right now. That's the big thing next is so far is what they're going to do. Usually a lot of teams don't go for that, you know, that server wall. Not server wall, that CCTV wall. In us, let's see, freaking cash construction wall. Crazy.
There you go. You got
And
there.
they plant there as well, which looks like they're doing right now. It looks like already Prompted drop down as well as Kilo. They reinforce between logistics and construction though. So again, Blarn playing this hard angle might be an issue. As I say that, looks like they're gonna try and open the wall up, but there is a mute jam there. That's kind of an issue, and you can't go below construction and open that up.
Certainly not. This is now somewhere where they're going to have to deal with it without that vertical pressure. A minute left to go and everybody is alive, so the stack inside of bedroom is about to get a little bit bloody. This player inside of construction doesn't move, but it's down below. Cry Magic with the C4. Excellent pulse play. I was a little bit worried on his impact, but he shows up late in this round. Blarn with a double continues to stack up these kills. A headshot and a Lemon followed by Kilo. These attackers now falling apart, bolting in construction, but Blarn's there for his triple. Blowing for the fourth, and he gets it too. Blarn shuts this one down with a flawless round. B&B took the first round, and it's good night from him.
Yeah, what a good night it is. A TCSG, you talked about how powerful it was. You saw the invitation with Nip, and Blarn just showing off how powerful it is. A two-tap, just two-tapping everyone that comes into his range. And it was actually a really good plan, actually, because you saw how they reinforced construction with no Thatcher on the board. How do you deny a mute jammer in construction? You shoot it from the window, but guess what? Blarn's there with a TCSG to shoot you in the face.
I think it's really interesting to look at these bans and look at how they've affected players. Because you're banning out Thatcher, you're banning out Maverick. It means you really can't approach the CCTV wall unless you play somebody downstairs. That's exactly what they're doing on the attack. Okami aren't doing anything interesting on that push, but there's no real pressure from B&B to hold them down to stop them from opening that up. Still, it doesn't matter, right? Still, Blarn pops off, and the late game pressure from Cry Magic helps them out with that opening pick. But that's maybe a hold where you could have been able to get that round a little bit easier if you just held down inside of lobby a little bit stronger. I'm not going to criticize them too much because it was a very good round for them. You know, they had their stronghold inside of construction, which was quite nice to see. You're forcing that Buck, whilst also putting pressure in an area where the Buck really can't be too effective. So there's definitely some synergy going on there between the bands and the play style. But you know, something to think about later on in this round. If we see the side swap and Okami want to play it that way, or Bird and Bicep play it later on, that's still an option for them. And it's, you know, on the other hand, kind of nice to see that they can hold without reverting to a strategy like that.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see them do new takes here. And again, we say new takes. This isn't really a new take, but this is one we've seen lately. It's been trending in how you defend this downstairs basement Church and Arsenal defense. You play above, you bring a Mozzie, you bring a Vigil, you bring a Mutant, you deny information, waste time for as long as possible. So we see that happening here. Looks like they can open up that construction opening from outside. And we'll see how well we see Okami deal with this roam, or if they're just gonna push onto sites by opening up church, opening up dirt, opening up kitchen.
So this is probably not how you want to go about it. You don't really like staying inside a kitchen when you haven't cleared out that top floor. The vertical pressure can be really devastating for you, but you've been very quick in terms of opening these floorboards, in terms of opening up that hatch. As soon as this pops open from Kilo, as it does in just a second, there we go. And you've kind of got that dealt with. Now, there are still defenders up top. They haven't really put a lot of pressure on this kitchen area. I don't know exactly where they're at. Looks like Bravo Dog is working his way down. Crime Magic is all the way in bars still. So perhaps this was cleared out. And they're able to do that in safety. One way or another, though, that is going to be a free kitchen opened up very early on. And you can't really underestimate how strong of a position that is going to be for the attackers if they're not getting pressured. There's Kilo to get the opening frag onto Avian, which is a good one to be able to find. One more inside of dirt tunnels, and Blarn answers back. That's his 5th of the game, but the future's gone down, so this defense really needs to restructure and get back to the bomb site. A long angle being held by Benji will shut down Crime Magic to rotate back to the basement. Bravo Dog trying to play it through the hatch, and he sees some feats. Can he hit these feats, though? No, Bravo Dog can't quite get it because of it. Oh, the attackers will stay alive, at least when they're up against him. A 3-on-3, though, so not totally over for this defense. They lose Bravo Dog. Zoinkers can watch. His teammate goes for the disable. Good shots in onto Prompted, who's inside there. The drop is not successful, but it does get the planter. You've got so little time. Zoinker's trying to fight upwards with the super shorty, but he just can't do it. Commando 9 has no more bullets left in it. Flamon can just kind of hop on down as soon as Zoinkers goes for it, and there we go. Okami, great post plant from them. Got that diffuser down early and then won the round just after that.
So a great read to Giant Knight, especially it sucks that B&B didn't have any vertical pressure logistics. They weren't trying to, you know, hold kitchen at all from vertically. They were just trying to hold on to different areas like bar or upstairs in cache or CCTV. So definitely a bit of a missight from B&B not to hold on to kitchen and make sure they can't open that hatch. They can't get into sight so easily. Hopefully we'll see them play it again, play it differently, or play it the same way as before. Hard to say. Blonde with 6 kills so far has been probably the star player for the team, as he's been getting quite a few kills, especially the 4K in the beginning. Just a really good read from Okami. Really worked it out. Well, DC, they looks like they're going for the same strat though. They're bringing the same operators. Maybe they're gonna make holes this time, at least in logistics.
I think it was very apparent way back on Border that Okami are a team that really like to play around that plant. You saw Zedflak, I mean, if you can recall your memory all the way back to the start of the night, Zedflak was really like focusing on that plant time and time again. He was getting it down. Of the 4 attacking rounds they won on Border, they got the plant down every single time. We're now 2 rounds here into Clubhouse, and it seems like the same story. They focused that plant really, really quickly. They got it down, and then they protected that plant. That's a strategy they can continue to leverage. It can be very effective for them. They also might worry that perhaps this is going to be a strat that the defenders can read into. You bait out that plant, you get the kill on Zedflak as he's planting. That's something that B&B can maybe catch on to and punish, but they're of course going to need to, you know, realize this is constantly happening and then also be in a position to punish it, because if the coverage is good enough, then it doesn't really matter if you know they're going for plants or not. Okami are just going to shut you down regardless.
Especially at this level of the gunplay, you can't be trying to push angles that the attackers are already holding. They know where you're coming from. They know what you're pushing. Especially in post-match situation, it's hard to do anything. It looks like one breach charge would use to destroy a castle barricade upstairs. Zoinkers and Bravo Dog, but it looks like there's maybe some holes being made. But no, actually, it's prompted opening up the hatch above. There's still no holes being made for logistics, so they're gonna try and clear logistics, make sure it's clear, and then also push into kitchen just like before. I don't know exactly what they're going to do differently here for B&B, but they can't just allow them to open kitchen hatch so easily. There was the impact chicken below from Blarn, but you can only impact so many times and deny so much. There's only one set of impacts. So we'll see. Crime Magic looks like he's trying to put pressure into kitchen by shooting through, but it's not much you really do besides that. It's prompted looking for the head of Crime Magic and Bar. Lehman gets the first kill on a Bravo Dog too, so there goes one player. Kilo gets on the Crime Magic, and there goes already 2 of your roamers off the board.
So it seems like they are aware of this above kitchen angle, but they're watching it. That's both roamers now off of the board. Zoinkers was in a position where he could go for something, but Blarn also being taken down means that he's probably gone back to the bomb site. Yeah, he's down all inside of blue. So it's Avian and Zoinkers alone now to hold on against 5 attackers who are going to be raining hell from above. And again, they've been so good at clearing up those top floors and opening up hatches and stuff without worrying about the roamers too much. The plant already going down from Kilo this time around. Interesting, he picks it up with Zedflax still on full HP, but Kilo gets it down regardless. Avian was downed, and Zoinkers can pick him up to make sure it's not a ace clutch situation. Still going to be a 2-on-5, but with this post plant, it's almost unwinnable. Kilo gets his double, and Avian is alone with 20 HP, not even. Coming back in, and Benji will finish him off. Another flawless round. Okami really pulling in strong against this basement defense.
Yeah, not enough adaptation there from B&B to deny, again, that same play. Push through dirt, push through kitchen, open the hatch up, drop down. You have the coverage from the hatch. You have coverage from blue as well. Not blue. You have coverage from dirt tunnel as well if someone's pushing blue. So at that point, B&B need to make a different, a different adaptation to deny these places, the territories that the attackers are taking. But so far, they didn't do so. They're going to try a different site. Instead, they go to gym and bedroom. They're not going to try and play church and arsenal for a 3rd time, because that would be insanity.
So it's cool they're not going to CCTV cash here. Of course, it's being opened up. We're in round number 4. They won it, so it's very likely they go back to CCTV cash. Typically, you win a bomb site round number 1. You struggle in round number 2 and 3. You're going to go back to your strong site, right? But they go to gym bedroom. Speaks to me that they don't really want to play church too much often, or too much in the past, because they're not, or in the future, because they're not going to be playing like CCTV. If it fails for some reason in round number 4, they're not going to keep banging their heads against the wall in rounds 4, 5, and 6. They know they want to play gym at some point in the second half. Maybe they even want to play it twice. It means they're fine to bring it out in round number 4, and you just switch things up on your opponent. So I like this a lot from Bird and Biceps. Whoever's the shot caller on this team, I think it's a really smart call to go here instead of your primary bomb site of CCTV cache, because you're going to play both anyways. You know your opponents are going to be expecting a CCTV cache, and it can make a big difference too, right? If you're holding on side of this this gym bedroom bomb site, typically your setup's going to be quite different, right? You're bringing similar stuff in this sense, but you're bringing in the mirror, which is a little bit different, so there's not going to be as much thought put into how you're dealing with that on the attack. You're not really going to be focusing on special operators to deal with that, so it's going to make a difference in terms of mindset and also in terms of operators. I like that they've made this change.
Yeah, that was a really interesting mirror. He's putting a soft mirror from logistics point of construction. He actually got shot too because they were shooting through that barricaded window at that mirror. He actually took a little bit of damage from Blarn. So this is a very weird strat. And see, so far, Benji are getting first kill on the card. Magic down below, pushes into garage, deals with one player already, the Goyo of Crime Magic. So that's already a really big blow to the defense to lose one member within the first 45 seconds. So this is actually a elongated hold in cash as well. They can open the wall to CCTV. Avian should be the first to try and deny this push. And I'm wondering how long they expect to hold this side of the map.
I mean, especially with Crime Magic going down, you probably can't afford to stay here for too long. You don't want to lose your life here. If you're Avian, you've got a lot of pressure on your shoulders to stay alive. Blarn's in a good position to cover you if you choose to fall back, but you've got to get to him first, and that's easier said than done, especially with that Goyo getting popped. Means he's no longer safe to rotate past his doorway. It's going to be a bit of a risk if and when he chooses to go for that. Instead, he's going to hunker up on top of this table inside of the cash room. It's got Zoinkers with a bit of a crossfire too, so he is relatively safe in here. But again, you're worried about losing your life. Opening up this wall up above him, maybe to go for a C4, but he doesn't really have that soft destruction. He gets the frag on a prompted and pushes on in. That is a big one. That's frag grenades off the board, and of course the soft destruction too. That is huge. Zoinker's in a good position to keep on helping you out. Bit of a wasted C4. Down below, Kilo somehow taking down Bravo Dog. A little bit of sleep at the wheel. Now he can push up on from this right-hand side, but Benji gets a double on Avian, finally rooting out that player. And so it took a minute. They have rooted out these roamers, and they look very strong to continue this attack on Okami.
Yeah, with a minute left over, but still a 2v4, there's still quite a bit of time for the attackers, and there's someone running out, but they have the man advantage. There's mirrors in the way of Jacuzzi, but Blarn looks like he's trying to hold on logistics. Zoinker's now rotating around and trying to deny him by pushing through Jimmy. Here still maybe on the stairs, but nobody's there for the moment. Blarn's still waiting for someone pushing down logistics. There's an Ash nearby as Lamon, who could be dropping down. Picking up, Lamon just waiting. Zoinker's waiting for a push down. Jim as well as outside of that is Benji. It looks like a push into gym and bedroom for a plant, but they're also waiting for a plant, and there's Blarn to get the kill onto Lemon, who is pushing in. Z-Flag's now walked in, but Zoinker's there ready to get the kill onto Z-Flag. It's a refrag, but another refrag from Benji, and Kilo takes out Blarn inside logistics, and Okami will take another round.
So I think that was a relatively strong attack coming in from Okami. I mean, you get the very early pick onto the Goyo. You don't have to worry about that anymore. You know you've got the player advantage. So then, okay, you're focused on Avian. You're really focused on Avian. We were watching him for a while. The fact that Prompted kind of just walked in and died when he's got those frag grenades, when he's got some of that soft destruction help you out, that's a big red flag because now Avian probably can stay alive for a while in there. But what do? They run downstairs. Kilo is able to take down Bravo Dog, who's down below trying to support. Then he walks on in and kills, or another one of his teammates walks in and kills Avian too. So you've dealt with all of the roamers. You've only lost one player. I still think it was a bit of a mistake for Prompted to die, but his teammates there to cover for him, so it's not a big deal. And then the coordination, like the setups to come out from the two remaining anchor players, I think it was Zoinkers and Cry Magic, to try to hold on to that bomb site. It was good. They had some really good crossfires, but the information game was just a little bit too strong, I think, as well, to come out from Okami, and they reacted smartly. We're watching Benji, I believe, on the south windows, and he did a good job of reacting to the calls his teammates were giving him and finding those picks. So eventually that's going to be a round for Okami, and a 3-1 split. That's a pretty good time that you're having as the attackers on Clubhouse. We've been wrong time and time again about which side the map's going to sway, and perhaps we'll be wrong again here.
Perhaps we will be. We're trying this Church Arsenal defense once more here for BNB. They brought along the same lineup again with, of course, with the operators Mozzie and Mutes trying to deny information along with the visual to just evade drones. But the problem is, like last time, they again take control of the kitchen, they take control of their tunnel, and they push through and go for plants. What is the plan this time to deny that? What exactly is BNB's plan to stop this from happening a third time? Because if they do this 3 times, it's edging on insanity.
It certainly is. I hope that they maybe put a little bit more pressure up top. They've changed positions around. Cry Magic in the bar this time. Usually it has been Zoinkers, I think, on that Vigil. Either way, the Vigil's in the basement, and he's just now rotating up top. Perhaps it's going to be a little bit less of a hold upstairs. As you see, also, Bravo Dog has been playing down in the basement. They're actually putting nobody up on this top floor. So I kind of don't like this. I felt like last time around, the problem was not that they had too many bodies upstairs, and certainly losing that many bodies was a big problem for you, but maybe more pressure would have been the way that I would deal with this. It's not necessarily a bad adaptation. Blarn's going to fall back relatively quickly, only wasting a minute. Still Cry Magic who's the most aggressive, and he's about to find himself an engagement. Looks like it's being watched, but he still is able to win the gunfight. Beautifully done on the Lemon, who will lose his life on the Ash. Now the pressure comes into Cry Magic, and he's going to have to adapt to this. He doesn't quite do so as Prompted catches him on the rotate. Means we're in a 4-on-4, and honestly, not a terrible spot for the roamers to be in.
Not too bad. It was a bit of a trade there. You take an Ash for a Mozzie, leaves a C4 for maybe the grenade or the flash grenade. So Bravo Dog also get aggressive. He does quite a bit of damage to Prompted, but he'll perform back down, and also C4 threat as well will not kill Prompted either. So that's also a lot of utility wasted on the defensive side in these endeavors. These aggression from them that's not really playing out at all. So this time though, they have reinforced hatches. They haven't really reinforced anything upstairs really, so that allows them to get these hatches instead and play somewhat aggressive, but also play still passive downstairs. So it's kind of that meta traditional clubhouse defense along with a little bit of aggression. It's 4-4. Going on the last minute here though, so I'm wondering exactly what exactly Okami gonna do here. Assuming it's to be a blue take.
I mean, Okami have been a little bit slowed down by these drone denial operators, which is a bit surprising to me. They could have gone a bit faster than they have. Doesn't mean it's the end of the world for this push. They are opening up into church, so this is a good play by Zedflack. Assuming this doesn't get tricked or anything of the sorts. We hear it does pop off, so that's going to be an open wall into the church. That's a great opportunity for them. They also take down Avian. There goes Benji with the kill on his Zoinkers. So now these are really starting to pile up in your favor. Zedflack can go for this plant as he loves to do. Blarn doesn't have the angle, and his teammates are all dead. What's he going to do? Look the wrong way and lose his life. Okami with a very clean round number 5. Again, just didn't feel like the best defensive hold setup from BNB.
Yeah, at this point, BNB are really, they've done CCTV and cache, and that's been their best site so far, and they've not found much else when it comes to success on their defense. So I'm assuming I'm surprised they haven't gone back to CCTV and cache until now. Until the very last round.
I guess it's been a while, hasn't it? They're really banking on the fact that they will win this bomb site. If they don't, then you're kind of scratching your head here, right? Like, you could have tried it twice, but you were so confident that you'll win it the one time you play it. You're only giving yourself one opportunity to play this in the second quarter. Concerning. If they lose this, they're going to be really kicking themselves. We'll see, though, as we do load into the round. They're bringing the Goyo again, and this is something I've wanted to talk about for a while in this matchup. They were playing a lot of Goyo on Bank. They've been playing a lot of Goyo so far on Clubhouse, and it's a bit of a controversial operator. You hear a lot of people, especially when this guy was about to come out or come into the Pro League, a lot of people were saying, you know, this is going to be a really overpowered off. It's going to be banned every single round. And then he kind of wasn't. Oh, excuse me. He kind of wasn't, and a lot of teams were sort of like, you know what, maybe he's not that good. But then some people were sort of like, well, maybe he's just situational. And I will say that he's probably most at home on Clubhouse, which is where he's, of course, being brought out right now. But I don't know. I feel like the general consensus is that Goyo has not really been that strong of an operator. B&B are really trying to make him work in a lot of situations. I think you could argue too many situations. And in most of the rounds where they're bringing him on defense, it just doesn't seem like they're having a ton of success.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Clubhouse is probably the best site, but it's like, or the best map for Goyo. But it really depends on the site. Depends how you play. With a lot of these aggressive plays, the Goyo doesn't really help out that much. It depends on if they're gonna play this like they did before, where they have Blarn, you know, playing in a passive position, holding an angle. Those shields helped out because they waste time. You can use that as shields, at least, you know, have an angle on somebody, and more I think it does help out when it comes to elongating time. But when aggressive plays, when you play the SG strat, when you're playing upstairs, it doesn't do much really. So we'll see here. Last time they did play this very well, they played construction and held it off, and they couldn't go for that same kind of split push, but they opened CCTV wall, and then they go into construction, open into cash, and go for a plant. They weren't able to do that because Blarn smacked all of them as they pushed into construction. So we'll see if they can do the same. Of course, nobody's in lounge. Nobody denies it, but actually Bravo walking down, but there's also someone in the corner. He throws a C4, won't get a kill actually. Will end up wasting that C4 instead entirely. So not a really good start here for B&B already, as there's, oh, never mind. There's a C4 to kill prompted.
Okay, so it's a little bit late. You would have liked that about 10 seconds earlier and around 15 seconds earlier, and that CCTV wall probably doesn't get opened up for the entire round, but the Buck does his job before he dies, and so that CCTV wall is going to be open for business. Still, though, Crime Magic's 2 for 2 on the C4s whilst playing on this bomb site, so he's got to be happy about that. And you're in a player advantage. You've got some good positions. This isn't the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination. Coming in for Bird and Biceps. Now, if Kilo can burn some of these ADSs, you don't have any frag grenades again to deal with the player up top here, but you do have a lot of men that you're throwing at Garage. It's Avian up top, and he will get taken down without any retribution. Lemon takes some damage, but he is going to be alive as he continues to take control of this Garage. They have it under their control. It's not going to be a problem for them. So they've got Garage. They've got the CCTV wall. They don't have construction, but you've got 2 angles. It's probably enough to push out here. But Cry Magic, beautifully done. He does get punished by the Claymore. Still gets a kill, though. That's a really big pick from him.
Yeah, it still was a trade either way. The fact to get the kill before hitting the Claymore, but I say that, there goes Bravo get kill from Kilo, and now it's down still 2v3 in the favor of the attackers. They come back to site. Blarn's on one side at the moment. Zoinkas come back from construction. They need to somehow deny this play if they get behind secure, or if they get behind CCTV rack. There's no real denial except a C4 from Blarn. Let's see if he can throw it correctly, get the kill. He will throw it over. He will not get the kill though. But actually, no, he will down Benji. Zoinkas runs out of construction window, takes out Kilo. Now it's down to just Lemon and Benji. Benji picks himself back up as he is Zofia. So Lemon gets some shots on the Zoinkers, and they go for this plant once more, and there's no C4 now to deny the plants. It has to be a straight up wide swing from either Blarn or Zoinkers. The Zoinkers trying to Blarn peek out. Blarn gets the kill on Benji though. Now it's down to Lemon on a 1v1. And time runs down. Time doesn't matter actually. Blarn gets the kill on a Lemon, and Byron Biceps will win a second defense, and they end at 4-2 in the favor of the attackers.
Those are the rounds that you really just can't open a book and with your coach and sit down and be like, you know what, this is how we're going to play it. It really devolved into chaos in the last few seconds of that one, and who else but Blarn to pop off and hit the shots when he really needed to. Impressive play by him. Of course, if you talk about how that round went, the attackers seem to do most things right. You know, they lost their buck earlier on, but they still managed to do what they needed to do. They opened up the CCTV wall. It was good control of good control of Garage without any frag grenades. That's not easy to do, but they flashed a hell of a lot of flash grenades up and took down Avian that way. Then you had some more control. There were still some defenders hunkered up in sight though. They battled back. It wasn't enough, and Bravo Dog, or Blarn, excuse me, walks away with that. So, yeah, a bit of a crazy round, but a fun one nonetheless. That puts us to a 4-2, as you were talking about, and we'll move on to the second half of this matchup. Hopefully for B&B's sake, they can win more attacking rounds than they did on defense.
Yeah, maybe this is gonna be attacker side clubhouse, or it's just Okami doing so very well. I've said this before. We've said this on the border, for God's sakes. I'll say it again here. It could be an Okami sided game, or it's a attacker sided clubhouse, which is not very often, but it does happen. Now we'll see exactly how we see the defense of Okami. We're starting off CCTV and Cash, the one site that's been the mainstay for Bird Biceps. And there looks like they're gonna try and ban trick maybe Z-Flag, not putting the bandit barriers just yet, or they're just gonna place them and leave them. I don't know for sure, but there's also like not a lot of people on site. Surprisingly.
I mean, I think that's fine. You've got players around. You've got one inside a garage, Z-Flag and bandit trick, Benji's top or red stairs, and then you've got some control inside of construction. It doesn't look like Laymon's sticking in there either, so you've got like your entryways covered. That's all you really need. Again, it's going to be really up to Avian to open things up on the buck. If he doesn't get punished down below, then this is going to be a relatively free wall. If not, then you basically aren't opening a wall because there's no Thatcher, there's no Maverick. You don't have a lot of other answers other than just putting somebody down below. Zoinkers is there as well, so they're at least bringing a little bit more coverage than what was brought on Okami, but it's still not a lot, and you're still going to be focused on playing this vertically rather than horizontally through that CCTV wall. There's also, of course, the option of just not focusing on CCTV wall at all, but most teams are going to want to get that opened up if they can possibly do so. Some pressure coming in from the CCTV window as well, but at the moment, nobody's dying from it.
Yeah, it seems like it looks like Z-Flag is trying to ban trick for the moment rather than just leaving it on there. Because of course, like you saw before, they could easily go below and just deny those bandit batteries by hitting below. So Blarn messing around with Bravo Dog, trying to stop Z-Flag from bandit tricking. They're gonna need to go below. There's no way to stop Z-Flag from doing this. And we'll see at least Bravo Dog push into stock, as well as now Avian jumping off as too. And Avian taking a lot of damage too, peeking that window with prompted. So bit of bad fourth, and let's see if they can take control and stop Z-Flag here and get the wall open.
Bravo Dog has now entered down in that first floor, so they have the position to stop Z-Flag. Here he comes with these lifelines to open things up. The positioning is correct. Can he get those bandit batteries? Though it looks like he will, but the bandit trick's still coming in, and actually that's because there's pressure down below. Laymon's able to get the kill, traded off by Avian, but that still keeps the wall secure and Z-Flag alive. That's what's important. There's a 2-for-1 trade for the defense as well, because Prompte was able to get that shotgun kill onto the second player down below and survive with just a sliver of HP. I don't know how he got down here or when, but he's got the Fuser downed. And, I mean, if he can stay alive for more than a few more seconds, this is going to be a big problem for the attackers. They're going to have to pick this up and then go all the way to the top floor to be able to plant this diffuser.
I would say, yeah, the diffuser being in the main lobby is huge. Prompted does know it's near him, but he has no HP to really go for a fight. So he's probably not going to try and challenge Zoinkers here. He's probably just going to back off for the moment. And yeah, all the cars in here for Okami, though. They've denied the push opening of CCTV, which is big. It's huge that they can't open CCTV wall. And other than that, there's no territory gained by B&B. They have nothing on their hands as Blind's going to jump into construction, which actually is a soft wall. He rocks right into Benji. Takes 2, actually. He's looking for a third. It's going to be Zoinkers, but it's prompted to take the last kill on Zoinkers instead. And Prompt takes 2 for the round. Then that's Okami to take another round. And they make it 5-2.
The play around that CCTV wall was just so good, and it wasted so much time that they didn't even realize Benji had another trick up his sleeve. The soft wall looking into construction and some great Jaeger play was just something that they didn't have the time to expect and didn't have the time to prepare for or deal with. Really around that Okami played very, very well. You didn't think that there was players down below. I mean, even as spectators, we didn't really see a whole lot of pressure, but there had 2 guys down there on both the Goyo and the Mute. Doing a lot of work, getting the kills, getting traded, sure, but keeping that CCTV wall closed means that there has to be a mad scramble to pick up the diffuser, go into construction, and again, it's just being held by Benji, and you weren't expecting that. So that's going to be around for Okami, a really well played one by them. Means it's a 5-2. That's worrying, but it's the first round for the defenders. So maybe it's not the end of the world. They're going to play basement, and they're going to go for one more of these super roam-heavy SSG strats, as it's called.
Yep, as it's called. I wonder if they're going to try and make the same mistakes. They, hopefully this, because they've won most of the rounds when they attack this site. I'm assuming they're not going to fall for the same trick where they open up kitchen, they take control of dirt, and they go for a plant with all that coverage. So I wonder if somebody on the side of Okami is going to open up holes in logistics, or if they're just going to be ready for them pushing kitchen and try and deny them as well. So yeah, operate pick wise, it's literally the same as before. There's no Legion like we saw from BNB. There's just a smoke and a mute. A bit different, but we need to see exactly what happens here. So Kilo's gonna open the floors, and yeah, this is pretty similar, just SC strat. We'll see how long they can stay up here.
Relatively similar strategy, but I think the details are a bit different. You've got Lemon and Prompted playing on the top floor. They're going to be playing this a little bit more aggressively than what we saw from Bird and Biceps. And again, I mean, I don't want to hate on them too much, but it felt like the problem with the heavy roam strat being brought by B&B was they just didn't commit too hard to it. It was very passive roam. They only typically had like one guy up top and one guy on that first floor, and they fell back relatively quickly. Look how like aggressive Prompted and Zed Flak are, or excuse me, Prompted and Lemon. They know they need to deny that kitchen. They know that they can do so from playing up top. And they know that as long as they can sit up here unchallenged by the attackers, they're not going to let that kitchen get opened up, which is what was happening in the first half. And so I like this play already a lot better coming from the roamers. Even if Benji plays a little bit passive, it's fine because you've still got that pressure being held up top.
Yeah, I wonder if they're actually, it seems as though B&B at this point are really going to roam clear. They're going to try and deal both Prompted and Layman up here, and that's just so much time wasted though. They can only drone so much, they can only do so much, especially because they can't get the information, so they have to face check so much to deal with these two. It's surprising that they're not trying to do the same thing that we saw from the side of Okami, which is try and bypass it. Though, like you said before, they have the holes there. They can't really just open the kitchen without being scared of these holes by above in logistics. Looks like Lemon has a good hole right there, watching the hatch as well. So I don't know exactly what they're gonna do here. Zoinker's droning through. He can't drone any farther, so it looks like he's gonna push with a face check. As I say that, Benji gets one, but is immediately refragged by Bravo Dog. So losing one in heart breaches could be a big blow as well to the attackers.
Still some engagements happening up top here potentially. It's Zoinkers who is tasked with clearing these roamers out. You've got the attackers and defenders on all floors at the moment. Crime Magic gets the better of him as Kilo does with a shotgun onto him inside of Moto. Still Zoinkers pushing very slowly. I mean, he's gonna maybe get the drop on these roamers, but at this point, doesn't really matter. You're down by a man. You're got less than a minute on that clock, and you really need to be focusing on the bomb site. These roamers dropped on down, so you're kind of wasting your time. Avian equalizes the score with a headshot onto Kilo. You're still worried about somebody inside of Arsenal, but a great shot from Avian, and Zoinkers is there as well. It means Lemon's alone with 35 seconds to hold on. Bravo Dog is a fuser, and he can start this plant. Lemon hunting, but he can't find it. Avian's with a great cover and a great round overall. Bird and Biceps are still kicking in this game.
Surprising they're able to come back though. It looks so good for the defense. But with all the time wasted, they had a kill as well, but they just weren't able to hold. I'm surprised it was almost soft too. That whole, like, there was one soft wall in that church wall, which is very surprising. So I guess they used too many reinforcements other places. They left some of these more dire reinforcements weren't reinforced. Some of those walls that should have been weren't there.
We approach 10 p.m. on the East Coast, and these players are starting to get a little bit tired. We saw on the scoreboard there, we had a player with a donut and a player with a breadstick. I mean, that's going to happen. We're only 9 rounds in, which is, not the whole game. Certainly there's the opportunity for those numbers to get up, but they're still a little bit low. I think both of these teams are going to be feeling the pressure, feeling the strain as they continue to play through this third map. Keep in mind, the first 2 maps took 24 rounds in total. We saw 2 round 12s, no overtimes, however. And so if this is a long one, we're going to be really exhausting these players. They still have another best of 3. Win or lose, you are playing another best of 3 tonight. That's going to be against either Joe Esports in the winner's side or a different team in the lowers. This is really going to start to be one of those matches where, looking into the next games, it's going to keep on dragging on for both these teams here, and it's going to affect them later on. And you can already tell that the strain is starting to get to these guys.
Yeah, you can tell that some of them are playing kind of tired, but still, at the same point, it still is a really good round either way. But these guys, you can tell some of them are a little bit falling apart a little bit on these plays, not able to make that reaction time is not as powerful. But we'll see what happens though as we start off round number 9, and they're going, so Okami at this point didn't work, that SG strat didn't work, that roam game didn't help very much, so they're going back to, the plain old strat. You're gonna hold on to blue, you're gonna try and hold on to your angles as long as possible. Most players are downstairs except for Prompted playing main stage for the moment, maybe to play a bit aggressive in the beginning, waiting for somebody to walk down the stairs, walk into the bar or bathroom. Nobody's there for the moment, they're all droning upstairs to make sure nobody is roaming.
This is actually the first time we've seen a classic hold of the basement where you're not bringing that drone denial. And still, there's enough fear on the side of Bird and Biceps that they're going relatively slowly on this top floor because they expect roamers even though there's none. There's Prompted, of course, who's on your screen right now. And relatively at the top of central stairs, but he's going to get droned out, panic a little bit, and then eventually retreat. You know he doesn't want to aggress too hard here. This isn't a roam strategy. You're trying to keep your players alive. He's got all 4 shock wires in his pocket too, so it's really bad if he dies here. He wants to be able to put those on the church wall, which he's headed to right now. He can go for those bandit tricks later on. There's no Thatcher. There's no Maverick. Those bandit batteries can be really strong, so he definitely doesn't want to die up there on that first floor. He knows he has to play passively. So I think it's a good retreat coming out from Prompt. He's going to get back into position, and these attackers, wasting a minute and a half, haven't really got much, right? First floor control, sure. Top floor control, sure. That's worthless. I mean, you were going to give that, you were given that for free almost. You push Benji out of blue. That's your first real like ground gained as the attack. You've also gotten some damage down on a Kilo, which is nice. Bravo Dog in a really good position, but that's a Goyo shield in front of him, so he's got to be careful even as he continues to aggress onto here. He's got no more lifelines to deal with that.
Yeah, it's surprising that Benji will return back to buy blue. I don't know if any more AES is left in his pocket. He has 0 in his pocket. I don't see under the wall either. So if another grenade comes flying through, I don't know if one's still available. It could be the end of Benji playing behind that AC unit. And so at this point, it looks like they're trying to open up this hatch into kitchen. They're trying to deny any bandit tricking as Avian opens the floor with that skeleton key. But it doesn't matter. Avian gets a kill on a Kilo from those hatches. But also it's Lamon to get a kill on Avian playing aggressive through the floor as well. So it's back and forth, and now we're down to just 4v4 and no ground still for the attackers. Looks like they opened this hatch, at least though in the kitchen. That's the first big thing they've been able to do. As it looks like the Zoinkers has now defended the main stairs, trying to find someone peeking inside Arsenal.
Gets one inside of Moto. Bravo Dog gets the other one. He does get traded out though, so a 2-on-3 continues on. 9 seconds on the clock for these defenders to hold. Blarn's going for this plant. Lamon maybe wants to stop him, but he can't do it. The crossfire is being watched from Cry Magic, and now Black with a lot to do. SMG 11 in hand, but that shield gets exploded, and his cover is gone. Bird and Biceps take round 9 and continue to trudge on. That's 3 in a row from them.
So far, Bird and the Biceps have proven they can take some of these attacks that you wouldn't really think, though, and they're coming back. It's one more round, and they can tie it all up. Maybe bring us to overtime. The big thing here is they're going back to the site they've won so far with a CCTV and cash. We saw from the side of Okami. They've only won 1 round so far, though. It's kind of similar in a sense. Yeah,
this has been a good clawback, I would say, to come out from Bird and Biceps. It's still relatively favoring the defenders here, Okami, because again, we're on CCTV, or we're on Clubhouse. They had a pretty good first half. You'd expect them to be able to roll that into a second one, but just the way these bands have gone, we've kind of had a weird night tonight in terms of which side's coming out on top. We'll take a look at how this side starts to get set up, but probably we're going to see a similar thing to what we usually see, right? We're going to see the attackers go down below, and there's going to be a battle down there. If the defense are able to win it, if they're able to stop the players from opening up CCTV wall like they did all the way back in round number 7, then this will probably go their way, and they can probably push it to match points. But that's a big if. And again, I would expect to see Bird and Biceps put a little bit more pressure downstairs compared to what we saw in the first round.
Yeah, Bird and Biceps says they really take downstairs and deny the ban trick whatsoever, because the fact they couldn't get open CCTV wall was such a huge blow. On top of losing members on that downstairs take, super just not helpful for their team in taking that site. They literally had lost it by the time they had just lost all the time, lost their members. It's a 3v5, and they walk right into construction, which had a soft wall rather than a reinforced wall like you see here between construction and cash, and it was all but over at that point. Benji a double kill, so we'll see this time they can do it. It seems to be pretty normal. Prompt to trying to ban trick once more. I'm assuming Bravo Dog's looking to push into storage along with Cry Magic pushing to the front entrance. Hopefully they don't run into another roamer though, like last time. It's both Goyo and Mute last time, which was Z-Flak and Lamon. Though this time doesn't look like they're ready for the moment though.
I want to say it's the first Capital we've seen. Could be wrong on that. I know he was banned out in the second
I think
map,
it is the first
we haven't seen a lot. Yeah, we haven't seen a lot if nothing else. Zoinker being the one to bring it on round number 10. in map 3. It can be really powerful in getting people out of garage, stopping that bandit trick if it so happens on the CCTV wall. Again, there's that downstairs pressure, and Bravadog using this barricade a little bit in his favor. They didn't actually get both bandit batteries. Prompted could put down a second one now, and it will stop that exothermic charge. So Blarn loses half of his utility. That's a big bandit trick to come up from Prompted. I know it doesn't look like much, but that's a really important play coming out from him. The fact that Bravadog down below wasn't able to deny that, despite the fact that he used 3 lifelines, that's a really big deal, and that's a big utility advantage for the defense.
Yeah, this is huge now. The fact that, again, like last time, they didn't lose members this time, at least on this downstairs take, but still, not opening up this wall is huge. They have 1 extra charge left. They have 2 heart breachers too, so they can always use Habana instead if they need to, but this is all still very scary as they're trying to find angle onto Prompted playing that bandit, playing that wall right now. He has a hole there, so he can't exactly play at the wall, but it's not entirely open, so I just say that he's gonna take some damage and get downed. Actually, the wall gets opened up, so Prompted is now downed and out. He tries to make his way back into the hallway, and so he actually will make it. Maybe he will be picked up. Actually,
they're gonna get Prompted up. That's amazing that he lives there. Shot through the floorboards, and then the wall opens right in front of him. Nobody's there to cover. I guess the call just wasn't made that he got downed. So that's an unfortunate loss for the attackers. It should be a 5-4 right now, but Prompted gets up and we're at an even man count. They're still able to get into this garage, and you see they've used 2 of those X-Kairos to make a relatively sizable opening in here. They can also get up onto that top garage, and especially with Zoinkers, having these flare bolts is exactly what you want him for. He's going to drop down, actually, though, and gets a kill before Kilo eventually finished off by Avian. That's a bit of a wild play. He does go down, though. Benji downstairs, able to find the angle onto Zoinkers. That's not one you'd expect him to find, but it's the aggressive play. Won't even comment on that. 3-on-3 as we continue on with 10 seconds left on this round. Bravadog watching in through the CCTV wall. Avian has the plant. He can go for it right now. Is there anything to stop him? Yes, Zed Flak down below with one of those C4s, but Bravadog's in a good position. He's got to start this plant. There's no time. Okami with the man disadvantage will win the round and push themselves to match point.
that was so close. Oh my god! Again, it was really this time ender because I took so long to deal with Prompted band tricking, which is really the big thing. That's more than anything, just the fact that not destroying utility but wasting time was the big thing there. But really good work to take control garage. It was a trade-off though. Kilo jumps off to get a kill himself before being burned alive. If he didn't jump off, he wasn't getting burned alive. So still jumping down, getting a kill was better than dying to the fire. And so at that point, just back and forth. Also, Benji running out definitely gave the advantage to the attackers in that fences. But the last second C4, nobody playing downstairs to deny it, even though they had 3 members up, was definitely a huge issue for B&B. But still really good from the side of Okami to deny the plant, deny them time, get that win. Put them on match point. They need 1 more round, but they haven't won a defense besides CCTV and Cash in the entire half.
Yeah, that's a really good point. One we really got to stress. They've got the defensive side. They've got a 6-4 lead, so they've got 2 rounds to play with. But they can't go back to CCTV Cash, and that has been sort of their best bomb site, the one they can always fall back on. For both of these teams, it's been a really good bomb site. It's actually the only bomb site that's been won on defense over the course of 10 rounds now. That's quite a good bomb site to be able to have in your back pocket, and it's gone now for Okami as they will play rounds number 11 and 12 either in the basement, which they've really struggled on, or here on Gym Bedroom, which we're just seeing now. Zedflax again going to be bringing out that Mira, so of course not banned. She's been seen a few times now defending on this bomb site. We've also got some good anchor operators, such as Kilo on that Maestro. He's been really good on that op earlier on today. You've got Lemon again, still going to be playing with that Goyo, so a lot of opportunities to come out from this defense to really lock this one down.
I definitely agree. Last time we saw the side of B&B hold the site, we had some interesting mirrors from Blarn, and a lot of things. Biggest issue was that a lot of the roamers are taken out pretty quickly by Okami. So this time Okami trying to lose their defenders too quickly. They need to keep these roams or at least waste time on anything. And we see Lemon and Benji with those same. It's almost like the same as like Shaft for B&B, holding down Cash in the hallway with those Vulcan shields.
Yeah, the key is you just don't lose one super early like you did on the other half, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You keep people alive. You keep Benji alive. Keep these guys alive. It's sort of the main thing we're going to keep repeating here. The attacker is going to be taking this from the east side and really focusing on this side of a push, right? Lemon's still hunkered in inside of Cash. You still have the support from Benji, so you're going to have to deal with these guys. You spent a minute just sort of looking at them, which isn't terrible if you gain the information, if you formulated a strategy to deal with them, but there's a lot of utility here. A Goyo Shield, an ADS, and a Mute Jam are all being used just for Benji. Laymon's got some use of that as well if he wants to rotate. Deals with some drones. He's got that TCSG, but Cry Magic and Blarn will actually start this round off with a couple of kills. Now Laymon's all alone, and there's only 2 people still on the bomb site. Laymon makes it all the way back to site in a very fast sprint, knows that he's got to be fearing for his life. Zedflak takes a bit of damage as well. BNB do not want to lose this match, at least not yet. They're going to be taking a 2-man advantage and continue to look on towards this bomb site.
Oh, there's a bullet hole made by Laymon here. Try and hold that construction window, and this is where they need to try and get some ground, because again, when you're down people, you kind of need to get aggressive to try and bring them back through. You can't be playing too passive, allow for the attackers to gain territory. So to say, Laymon here looking for a chance to get a kill, but he's being pushed now as the hatch has been opened up logistics. He's trying not to be pushed too hard, and Z-Flak and Kilo holding their angles, holding it down, trying to wait for some kind of angle, some kind of aggression to get forward, put them back in the game. Otherwise, these attackers are just going to send a site and they're going to win because of man advantage. As Laymon's looking for an angle on a person pushing this stairs. It looks like it is Bravo Dog. He's actually going to move over to the cache or construction window instead, open up into logistics, allowing for his Zoinkers to push through.
So you've got some opportunities. There's Laymon downed inside of Logic. Kilo in here as well, but Cry Magic is there. He's going to win the gunfight thanks to a wasted flash grenade, but Aving gets a double kill, and, well, Zedflak still wants to win this round. He can't do it, and Burden Biceps push us to round 12, staying alive. A good push overall from them. You know, getting those 2 early picks was obviously big, but then really just keeping the defense scared. You saw the way that they were playing Laymon, even inside of Logistic, just always concerned about where he's being pushed from, doesn't seem to know that the hatch is being opened up above him, gets droned out, doesn't realize it. I mean, there were a lot of problems in the 3v5 hold, and I get it, it's like a 3v5 disadvantage, you're not expected to win that, but still, I really want to give credit to Burden Biceps to keeping up that pressure, always playing with the advantage. It got a little sloppy at the end, but you know what? It doesn't really matter when you've got that big of a player advantage. You're able to walk in, you're able to get those frags, and you're using that man advantage well because you're always in different positions, and the defense can't find a good place to sit still because you've just got more guns, you can just watch more angles, and I think they utilized that man advantage really well in the last round.
Very great. It's been great work from BNB to push back and take these rounds, and they need one more now to push them to overtime. Big thing though, this was BNB, they decided the side for this map, so it will be OT side will be Okami Stick, which is defense, so they still have the bit of the advantage. I say, well, actually say advantage, but it's been attacker side. I can't even say advantage even.
Exactly, yeah.
I can't even say advantage even. They'll take defense on OT if we go to OT. We need to see BNB take one more of these church arsenals to send us to OT, first OT of the night.
Yeah, we've seen 3 round 12s now. We have yet to see an overtime. If history repeats itself, then Okami are going to the second round of these qualifiers, and Burden Biceps are going to the loser's bracket. We could have a 7-5, 7-5, 7-5, but of course, Burden Biceps are going to be looking to disrupt that. It'll be a push downstairs, and they're going to need to do it. Well, I guess Okami are going to need to hold it for the first time. You don't often take a look at this bomb site and say, well, the defense aren't likely to win it, but just based on how this has been going, it seems like that'll be the case. It'll be another classic hold coming out from Okami, so again, that's something that Burden Biceps are really hesitant to play with, but Okami have been more willing to go back to the roots and play this as most people have for most of this map's lifespan. They're not playing any drone down, playing people down in the basement. Prompted is again a little bit aggressive on those main stairs, but assuming that again he's got all 4 bandit batteries in his pocket, he doesn't want to die here. Yes, he does. 4 batteries in his pocket, so he needs to stay alive. A pick on him would probably be the overtime, because then you can't hold down that church wall, and just like that, he gets 1 drone and he's gone. He knows that he can't play that too aggressively. As I say that, he's still there, so well, we'll see what Prompted's actually up to.
Yeah, see if maybe we get C4 off or something, but I do agree. He's definitely someone you don't want to lose too early. Last time it was also pushing because Avian was able to frag out pushing main lobby or main hallway, which is pretty big. Of course, they're going to open up these hatches, open up both Blue and Moto first. They droned out all of upstairs, they droned out all first floor, made sure nobody is roaming, and now we're going to go for a play and see if they're going to push. Prompted, of course, ban tricking that church wall to make sure nobody can open it. Last time they actually had half this wall partially like soft last time, which is really weird.
We enter the last minute 30 seconds of this so far 3-hour-long matchup. Potentially, if this goes Okami's favor, they'd certainly like to end it right here. Another Capitao being brought out by Zoinkers. So again, it's a bit of a change in strategies. We've got Benji inside of utility who starts to burn alive. He just runs through the fire and escapes with about 20 HP. He's going to be okay as he makes it back into the loving arms of Kilo, who's there to protect him inside of Arsenal. Lamon far back in that room as well. Keep in mind that this kitchen hatch still closed. They don't have a ton of pressure, despite the fact that there weren't a ton of roamers. They've opened up the bar hatch into Moto, and they've opened up stock hatch as well. They've got some things opened up, but you've still got work to do. And then you're going to want to be able to save some of that hard destruction for the church wall. So you've got a little bit of stuff to do still. Stuff on the checklist still for the attackers. They will open up the kitchen now if it doesn't get impact tricked. And it looks like it gets open. So that's a good success for them. 30 seconds now. Benji's taking a lot of damage, but otherwise, this whole server is healthy, and we've got 30 seconds on that clock. Things are about to get crazy, as this is maybe the most important round in these players' lives. Zoinkers will get the first kill. Prompted answers back, though. So 4-4. That's going to be the Goyo and the Capitao off of the board. Prompted in a very aggressive angle on that main stairs. Nobody's pushing him just yet. Zedflak also pretty aggressive inside of Moto. Benji with low HP is going to have people dropping below him. It's Kilo to get the first kill on the Blarn as the push comes in. Bravo Dog answers, prompted a double. It's a 2-on-2. 1 second. Is anybody planting? Yes, just in the last second, Cry Magic will do it. Bravo Dog to cover. He can pop off that Goyo shield, which means Zedflak is all alone. He's got very little chances at this one. He'll pop off the Toxic Babe, trying to choke some people out by the diffuser. Watching his flank now, knows they could come around from his left. They both rotated to his right. He gets shut down, and we're headed to overtime for the first time tonight. Burden Biceps forced the round 13 and the round 14. We just couldn't get any closer than this one.
It is going the distance, guys. We're going to OT, and that was Burden Biceps. Time was an issue, but in the end, they made it count and they made it work. Unfortunate, too, they couldn't get any of those impact tricks off, though. I literally saw like 3 impacts hit that. None of them hit the right spot, which is really unfortunate. So just really good work from them. Open those hatches up really slow as well, though, unfortunately, but they still were able to make the way into sight, get the kills. It was a good kill from Kilo, a good kill from Prompted, but Bravo Dog coming down blue takes out 2, 1 at the door into Arsenal, and 1 also inside of Dirt. At that point, too, they're able to take control of sight. Bravo Dog gets another down the hallway, take out Prompted, and that's always Z-Flack on his own in a 1v2, and then plants down, post on situations. So really good work on BMB. Unfortunate that impact doesn't go off, and we'll enter the defense side of Okami once more. Back to CC Tash, go.
I can tell you one thing almost for certain. Round 13 and 14 will be played on CCTV Cash. Through 12 rounds, 4 rounds have been played on CCTV Cash. 4 rounds have been won by the defense, and those are exactly the rounds that line up. No team has been able to defend any bomb site other than CCTV Cash. Both teams have been perfect on this bomb site whilst defending. They both went 2-2 here. So we're going to likely see it here. We're certainly seeing it in round 13. Almost for sure we'll see it when the sides swap, and Burden Biceps also need to choose a bomb site to go for their one and only defensive round. But it's going to be on Okami to hold down a defense somewhere else, or at least break the defense on the CCTV Cache of Burden Biceps. One of these two teams will have to break the trend. Otherwise, I mean, if we keep following the pattern, Burden Biceps are going to walk away with an 8-7 victory.
I'm about to say, statistically, yeah, Burden Biceps is supposed to win this at this point, but hard to say. We'll see exactly how they do this. This last time we've seen this site, every single time we've seen this site, we've never been able to get the CCT wall open. Actually, no, not never. No, they got it the second time, didn't they? I'm crazy.
They got it a couple times, yeah, but
they got it the second time they got it open, but the first time they couldn't get it open. So
yeah, and Prompted barely stayed alive.
Barely. Yeah, they won that one by the skin of their teeth by getting the C4 off with the last second. So. Hopefully it's not as scary this time for them, but they're going to try again. Hopefully tip this wall closed. Prompted, no bad trick in. There's nobody downstairs actually. So last time it was, well, the first time they won this was because Z-Flack and also Layman were playing aggressive downstairs and holding lounge, denying them from, playing that vertical play to deny Prompted. So I don't know if they can try that again though.
They've yet to really put any pressure on it. Zedflak in a very strong position. We see people here time and time again with these bans that have gone down. You gotta go downstairs, and Zedflak's gonna make it very difficult. Bravo Dog knows he doesn't have to force this angle. Prompted actually just gonna let it go. This is the first time we haven't seen a bandit really commit to this. He decides instead that it's not worth his time. He's just gonna back off, play back around Zedflak, and let that wall be open, saving his life in the process. Not a bad decision, it's just a very safe one, and one you maybe don't make if you're not in overtime with the last match of the Challenger League, first round at least, but still closed qualifiers. We've got everybody still alive. Now, Kilo inside of this garage will likely be the next target for these attackers if history has anything to say about it. Before, they've really put pressure on thanks to Crime Magic and Zoinkers, who are in position to deal with them now. Just a couple ticks of that Capitao Firebolt, and Kilo will be toast. He's got to be aware of this. And he's got some default cams up to help him out, but if he just sits and burns to death, then that's going to be a player advantage going towards Bird and Biceps.
Yeah, last time they really were he jumped off last time, got a kill at least in a refrag, but this time he has no HP, so even if he gets fired once, which is already happening, fire comes down and he's dead immediately. There goes Zorkas to kill Kilo. Now they're taking to a garage. So at this point, there's a lot of angles and a lot of play here for B&B to win this site, which is something that hasn't happened yet. If they can take this site and break the trend, that is looking so good for B&B. But at the same point, you can also see the side of Okami break the trend too, as there goes one evil eye inside a garage, great grenade from Avian. Now they take control of all garage and CCTV on normal sites. On normal clubhouse, statistically, this means they're going to win. They have all of the cards in their favor. They're still also need to deny the C4s though as well. Bravo Dog gets to kill a Z-Flag though, and the C4 is not going to kill. Probably gets killed blind though. Bravo Dog gets like a refrag though, and now down to 1v4. Just was laying on from below to get a kill on Zoinkers, and time is running out. And can he deny the planter though? Time is there. He sees him, but he can't get the kill. Bravo Dog gets planted down, and now it's down to just a 1v2 when Avian gets the refrag onto Lamon, and Bird Biceps, they break the trend like you said before.
So scared it seems from Okami. I mean, there's many different times there where they could have made a play, they could have jumped up and made something happen, but they laid down, and because of it, Bird and Biceps were able to break the trend. You talk about first that CCTV wall being opened up. Uncharacteristically, the bandit doesn't stick around to try to trick it. He falls off, which is fine, but it's a little bit passive. Then you go to garage, and again, you've got some player playing up top on the top of garage. He's got very little HP. You know, you're on the maestro. Before, what did you do? You jumped down, you took charge. This time, you sit up. You're scared. You burn to death because of it. This has been a couple of times now where Okami have just gotten a little bit nervous. You can tell, I mean, this is a very important game for them. These are some very important rounds. And that time, they kind of just let it slip from their fingers. They didn't do what they needed to do to take the round as theirs. They just let it slip away. Now they've got to do what seems to be the impossible. They've got to both attack onto, well, I was going to say onto CCTV cache, but they've gone to the basement. So they're going to have to attack into the basement. This might be a gift from Bird and Biceps. Okami, this is still in play for them, but they can't let the mental game get the best of them.
This is insanity. This is. They've lost this site 3 times already, and they're going for it for a 4th time. Literally insanity.
10 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, I don't know. This is not supposed to be the play. But
yeah, I don't understand. It looks like Bird and Biceps want this to go to round 15. But as I said, you know, they could easily win this out. Hopefully they change something out. They see the same things. Last time, every time they've lost this is because Okami open up kitchen, they open up dirt, they take control of dirt, take control of kitchen, drop down, they have all the coverage, they deny all the plays, and they win it out. So I'm skeptical and confused on why they did this again, as they've lost it 3 times on that same play every single time from Okami, and there hasn't been enough, there hasn't been any adaptation from them to deny that kitchen play.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at this, it's again going to be one of those Mute Mozzie Vigil combos, so they're still running this. They're playing Bravo Dog in the basement, they're playing the Vigil Crime Magic on the first floor, and they're going to put Zoinkers up on that top floor. It's been a little bit slower to open up that kitchen from what we're seeing from Okami. Again, could just be a little bit scared because there's not a ton of pressure coming out from this roam of Bird and Biceps. Now we're starting to see them enter into the kitchen. Kilo is here, and they're going to get it opened up early. Zoinkers needs to deny this. There's an impact trick from down below instead. He's still just watching the moto hatch. You can tell how scared he's playing, and because of it, this could just be another repeat of rounds we've seen so many times before.
Yeah, it looks like they didn't make a hole there, maybe to try and scare the attackers playing there, but it looks like this impact trick did work, at least to deny some of them. I don't know if Kilo has any more X cows left. He has 2 more left, actually. Another, he looks like another impact trick was up, but it will not hit correctly, and that hatch is going to get opened up once more. At this point, it looks like Z-Flag's going to turn towards Dirt Tunnel and take control of that next, which looks like he's going to avoid now. Avian's playing inside of Dirt. He'll be the next side of defense to try and stop the same play you've seen Okami every single time. He's already firing out towards the entrance of Dirt Tunnel, trying to stop Z-Flag. But at this point, it looks like it's going to be another drop once from the attackers into Church. Not Church, into Arsenal, my bad.
It's going to be a lot of pressure on those roamers. Again, if they don't do anything through this entire game, if they don't come in for a late flank, and that's probably going to be their entire round loss when we head to round 15. For Okami, they want to either deal with those guys or push down before those roamers have a chance to really do anything. Zoinkers and Cry Magic, last we saw, were still rotating on up around that bar area and then also around Moto. Zoinkers has come down the central stairs. Cry Magic is still in the bar though. Looks like the opening kill comes from Kilo as he just drops and takes down Blarn. That is a great start. He's going to start to plant as well, being covered from kitchen, but those roamers could make a big dent in that kitchen hold. There's Avian and Zed Black prompted another one that's 4-on-2. These defenders really starting to fall. There goes a C4, but it doesn't connect. He's looking to be able to stop this plant. They killed Kilo, which is a good stop in terms of that diffuser. They'll get another one with Bravo Dog getting the player who's out in the open, but now he's going to be able to find the ace to stop this from the third planter, not in open sight, but from the hatch. It's going to be a denial from Benji, and we head to round 15, the final round in this intense best of 3.
I told you.
Yeah.
I don't understand, but either way, Bird Biceps, they try it again in the same exact play like I told you. They take control of dirt, they take control of the kitchen, they drop down the hatch, they go for plant. It was a bit more messy this time. They had a lot more kills on the side of the defense compared to the previous rounds, but still, they had so much control, there's so much coverage from the hatch, you cannot stop that. So we go down to round 15. It's now the defense of Okami back to CCTV and Cash. They've won before, they've lost it once, won it twice. So it's looking to be their win. But last round they won this though was still a really good play from B&B. Can they replicate it? Can they try it again? Are they able to do it again and take the win and keep themselves in the upper bracket?
For 2 maps, Valkyrie has been banned out by Bird and Biceps, so it wasn't on the field. In the third map, we just went 14 rounds without seeing it. Finally, Okami bring out the Valkyrie, and it's not going to be expected. It was in the 6th pick. They might drone her out, but still, they have no idea where these cameras are at. They just spent, 14 rounds not having to deal with Black Eyes, and now Lemon swapped over to the operator. This is going to be a big deal. They dropped the Goyo, which is fine. I mean, the Vulcan shields haven't necessarily been the biggest impact anyways, so I think it's okay to take them out of your lineup. This could be the swap up that Okami need. I mean, if you're going to play something like this, why not do it in round 15 of the third match in these CL closed qualifiers? It's not even to make it to CL, but this has still been such an important game for these teams, and it's still such an intense, close game that if he throws this outside, he didn't hit the tree, but if this can still work for a run out, or at least stall out the defenders, slow them down, and catch them off guard, that could be huge for the defense.
Yeah, we'll see if they can pull us off, as it's still the same kind of setup we've seen before from the side of Okami. I wonder if they can. Benji playing below this time at least. So let's see if they can deal with this downstairs play as Bravo Dog is going to open up, trying to go from the drone hole, trying to concuss Prompt so he can't ban a trick once more. As it looks like there's actually players from actually the side. Blarn's droning in from Avian, looking to play into construction, trying for a different play than usual, because so far it's been last round was very close actually. Even though they did win it, it was still time wise they were almost at the 0 second where they planted that diffuser, and it was actually the open floor that could have been killed as well too.
The Bird has some tricks of his own. He's going to be pushing through the bedroom. This is not really a position that we've seen a lot of attackers take. Again, it's been a very heavy focus on the CCTV wall. Both these teams have really focused on the garage take. This time, though, with Avian pushing in through gym and potentially into construction as well, this could present an opportunity that hasn't really been taken advantage of yet. You can see his drone. He's seeing nobody in construction, nobody in bedroom. It's all free real estate if he wants to take it. Meanwhile, his teammates are still working away at this wall. Bravo Dog's going to stun himself, but maybe open up this wall. Yes, he will. That's a successful wall opened up, and Zoinkers is getting kills on a prompted. So the attackers kind of lining up everything they need to. Prompted for the second time now kind of messes up his play on the bandit in terms of denying this wall and also getting killed in the process. That's a big loss for the defenders. Now you've got 4 players alive. You've still got those Valkyrie cameras, sure. They haven't really netted you any kills. You're not getting aggressive off of them just yet. You're going to have to keep Kilo alive and holding a long angle here. And you're going to need to rotate this defense to focus on construction, because this is where the attack is coming in from Bird and Biceps, and we haven't seen this before.
Yeah, this is an entirely different push. They want to keep it fresh and keep something different here. They want to keep falling into the same play. Even though that was a win for them, that was very close time-wise. So a different play here. A grenade comes through, trying to delete any pain, mute jammer around the corner, trying to deny this opening from Blarn, so that wall get opened up. Z-Flex around the corner trying to deny any plants, and so yeah, again, scared that this is a different push though. Will this different push work out? So it looks like as though they're actually gonna smoke out Kilo so they can walk in through it. Benji gets the first kill on Zoinkers though, as they try to push from construction into cash though. There goes Jor Capital out of all things too, which is not a person you want to lose. You probably still had the flame bullets available to him as well. At this point, looks like a grenade comes through, and all gets shots from Crime Magic. Actually, he's planting diffuser. Benji takes a lot of shots. He's trying to deny the person on the repel. Actually, not repel. It's Bravo Dog. Laymo gets one, Kilo gets another. Now then, there's Bravo Dog in a 1v3. What happens to all the people inside of Cash? They all got taken down, going for that plant, and that's a GG's to Okami.
What a game. Okami take it back in round 15 of the third match here in what is only the very first game in CL closed qualifiers. And Okami, great adaptation at the end there. They were losing players. They were really looking like they were going to lose that last round, but they claw it back somehow. Every single member contributing in that last round to get a couple of kills and force that their way. An 8-7 victory after a 7-5 map 1 and a 7-5 map 2. I mean, hard fought for sure. You got to give credit to both of these squads, but in the end, only one can continue, and it will be Okami. Oh boy, this has been such an incredible back and forth match. Benny, we still have another game. Okami continue on, and we'll play Joe Esports in just a few minutes.
Yep, so we're going to quick intermission, guys, before we go to the next match. It'll be Okami versus Joe Esports. They'll do map bans. It'll be a little bit before we get back to it. But so, that was a crazy game. We'll see you guys a little bit with the next one.